Okay, good morning. We're going to begin the Commissioners meeting for August 4th, 2025. We'll start the meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, let's go ahead and do the claims on the Kent County. Anybody have any questions or issues with those?
No, sir.
Actually, I'm going to hold off on that one for a second because I did have one question on it. What about payroll? Anybody have any problems with payroll?
Nothing.
I'll move that we approve the payroll as presented.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. We have the minutes from a couple meetings here from the special meeting on July 29th. Let's just do that one first. Anybody have any modifications there?
No.
I'll move that we approve the July 29th meeting minutes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. And the other one is from the July 21st, 2025 meeting. Any changes to that one?
None.
No.
Okay, I'll move that we approve.
Second.
All in favor of the motion, say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Let's go ahead and just get into the highway reports right now, and then we'll come back for the claims. So, Ms. Richard, good morning.
Morning. Alrighty, first of all, we got a temporary road closure for Hickory Grove Road. It will be closed starting this Wednesday, August the 6th, for a bridge replacement. It is approximately 200 feet north of State Road 56, and it'll take about 2.5 to 3 weeks approximately. That was the road that I had informed you guys about 3 weeks ago, I guess it was. Okay, trash stickers. We have, I gave you a 5-year plan. That's approximate. That's not counting. We are hoping maybe it'd be nice if we could just buy all the sites. So it doesn't happen like we did in there at Holiday and it just gets, chased off and have to find another site. So, and plus, I mean, because we chip and sealed it last year and everything was good to go, and now we got to leave. So once we do a lot of work to it, it'd just be nice to have our own, and that way we won't get bumped out.
I agree, so that's a good idea, but I don't know that they all want to sell.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
one step at a time.
I guess secondary, if we could get a longer term lease.
Yeah, that.
Do 10-year leases or something.
Mhm.
What are the lengths of them now? Are they year to year?
I think they're 5.
5 years, I think.
We'll have that in everyone.
Yep.
Yeah.
5 years is decent, I guess, but
Yeah.
So, but how does that work as if you sell?
you mean we buy it?
Well,
If somebody else buys it,
if somebody else buys it.
It'd be a term of the lease like we had this last time.
So I think we
Basically
would,
what the lease says.
we would get to use it for the remainder of our lease.
And the lease said 6 months on this one here, so we gotta be out by December, late December,
Correct.
so. Okay,
No, if you want to take time to do that, I think that'd be great. I mean, that's great. That's better for us long term. There's gonna be a hassle with it anytime we acquire land. There's appraisals and public notices and things that have to be done, but it's
Right.
still a better long-term play.
so yeah, trash stickers, we have a 275,000 plus sanitation truck we gotta purchase next year. Gotta purchase a site for the new Holland site. We got the DuBois and Holland sites that we gotta reconstruct. So fence, shed, large item dumpster, concrete under the dumpster is what we would like to do, because whenever the trash guys lets the dumpsters down, it goes at an angle. That's just how they're built, and it digs in a little bit, so it just digs a little ditch in the back, and so it'd be nice to have a concrete pad underneath all of them, set them on, That way trash and water don't sit back there. So, and plus it would be better on the dumpsters too, instead of sitting on the rock wet all the time. Just be a lot better on the dumpster wise and plus looking wise.
Is that work we could do, or we'd have to ask?
We could do that. I'm sure the Weirs crew could probably do that, if, waiting in between times or whatever, So, but yeah, we should be able to do that. Okay. So yeah, if you guys, consider taking the sticker price up to $2 versus $1.50, because there is a lot of things that we have to do.
I think Jasper and Paving are raising theirs.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, please bring it up again at the next meeting. We'll look at your 5-year plan. We'll ask any questions we have between now and then, and we can make a decision at the next meeting. Does that sound good to the board?
Mhm.
Also, that way, if anybody's watching and they think that that's a bad idea, we can hear about that.
Alrighty. I know there's a lot of people that come in, according to the site attendants, they say, wow, I can't believe you never went up for this long and everything else. So I think they're sort of expecting it. So we'll see.
And a lot of people are probably price conscious. So if you live in town, you can pay $2 for that sticker. You can drive out to the dump and pay $1.50. People will probably do that. The same people like me that will drive down the road for 2 cents off your gas.
Yeah.
Are the same kind of people. So.
Exactly.
So yes, you're probably right. We will probably get an influx of other people if we don't.
So,
And
okay.
it's still fair and reasonable. I mean, it's a good service that we provide. It still isn't gonna we're not gonna make money on it. We still lose money on it,
Right,
but it's a good public service.
right.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
So, and it's a good place for everybody to recycle.
Yes.
I mean, if they wouldn't have this here, a lot of people wouldn't recycle. So,
Well, as a reminder, they can recycle for free.
yeah, recycling is for free. So, yeah. Johnson grass, it's getting very out of control. The weed board and I are going to a ISAC meeting, Invasive Species Awareness Coalition meeting tonight to see if we can get some help from sending out letters, flyers, whatever they can help with. We just don't have the ability to do all that, so we're hoping maybe ISAC can help us a little bit. There's Johnson grass just absolutely everywhere. And I know it's a state law where you're not allowed to have it, you're supposed to try to get rid of it, but a lot of farmers are thinking, well, they drive down the state road and it hits your rear, they ain't taking care of it, why should we? But it's, so I'm gonna go talk to them tonight and see what we could do.
And again, that'd probably be a full-time job for you if you went around and enforced it in the whole county.
It would, yeah. So, truck bed for the new triaxle. The chassis is done, but the company we were going to get the bed from it went from 20 weeks out, now it's 50 weeks out. So with your approval, we would like to go with a new company that's only 10 weeks out, but it's an increase of $530.01.
So didn't we talk about this last week?
That
2 weeks ago, or
That was the single axle truck beds,
Okay.
and that was a decrease of $2,500 per bed. So we got a decrease there, but this here is an increase of $530.01.
So which one's the original?
So this is the original,
Quote there.
and that's now out 50 weeks, and we get this in here done in 10 weeks. So,
And do they guarantee that, or is it just they say they won't?
well, he called him and he said he said 8 weeks, he said, but let's just put on our 10 weeks just in case, So with your approval, we'll tell Max to go ahead and go with that. And
I think I'm reading it wrong. This looks like it says $46,700 here. Am I looking at the wrong thing? And this one says 38.
Yeah.
That wasn't the total.
Yeah.
46, okay, thank you. Just want to make sure I wasn't saying something wrong. Would you like to see that?
Good.
You're
You
gonna
only pass this recent. That's close enough to say 40 weeks. I think $500 is cheap.
And this one is spec or what you need?
Yep, he says same spec, same
Thing? Okay,
everything, so.
okay. All right.
Anyone on board opposed to them changing the company that they're using with the increase of 53001?
I'm not.
Fine with it.
You're welcome to proceed.
All right. I have a meeting with the mine after a while. We have a culvert that needs to be replaced on 750 West in Boone Township, which is right next to the mine. I don't know for sure if, what we have is downstream, it's blocking everything up. We don't know if it's because of the mine or what it is. But where we have to replace this culvert is 4 feet underwater right now. So we can't replace that culvert with being underwater. I don't know if it's DNR, I don't know if it's the mine, we don't know. But apparently Michael Costello is having a meeting with DNR tomorrow morning. And then I'm having a meeting with him tomorrow afternoon to see what we can get done with that ditch to have it. Hopefully it's under the reclamation process, but I don't know for sure if it's on that land or not. So I'll find out tomorrow night because we got to get, somehow we got to get that ditch cleaned out. And I doubt that the landowners are going to do that. So hopefully it's under the reclamation part of it. And we'll get it cleaned out, then we'll be able to replace that pipe because we got the pipe in and it's ready to go. We can't lay it underwater.
So is the road passable now?
Yes, it's
You can
passable.
still drive over it, but
Yes, yeah, it's under, it's probably 4 feet down. It's a big pipe,
okay.
So, but it's just taking like half of the pipe where it's full of water all the time,
Mhm.
so.
Okay.
DNR, they'd rather ditches grow up and have like a little wetland there, but gotta get rid of the water to. So, alrighty, so I'm gonna meet with them tomorrow night, so. And as far as the Club Road, we are gonna be opening that tomorrow evening, so Club Road will finally be done. And that'll be open, then we'll go straight over to Hickory Grove Road and shut that one down.
Okay,
That's all I got.
well, thank you. While Levi comes up, I'll make a motion that we approve the voucher register report, the claims goods county.
Second.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Levi Lefford, County Engineer. So we'll start off with the paving projects. CalCar is planning to pave Old Road 45 and 600 North starting this week. And then they'll come back and pave the rest of the remaining projects from September through October. I didn't have this included in my notes, but I wanted to mention the Community Crossings matching grant. PennDOT just released some new information on that as far as what the Community Crossings matching grant will look like for the second round. It was previously on hold for a little while because they needed to see what that program would look like. So I needed to reach out to them to see if we're able to apply for the second round because we did get the max amount of 1.5 million earlier this year. So I need to see what that looks like, but the goal is to always try to maximize what we can get on that. I will say they lowered it from a $1.5 million match down to a $1 million match, but at least they still have a program out there. But I'll give the board an update on that as I start looking into that. We can skip over the Club Road, Box Culvert, and Hickory Grove Small Bridge, since Donnie covered both of those, unless you guys have any additional questions on either of those. I wanted to let you guys know, just for general awareness, that I have started some preliminary conversations with the city of Jasper on Portersville Road widening. They reached out to me because they're wanting to put a proposed wastewater treatment plant that comes off of Portersville Road near the intersection of 500 North. And in doing that, some of the homeowners there that were going to be selling property to the city of Jasper for the wastewater treatment plant, some of those homeowners wanted that section of roadway through Portersville, or on Portersville Road, widened. It's about an 850-foot long section. I say wide, we're talking 1 foot on one side and about 2 feet on the other side. So the city of Jasper is just asking the county, do we have any initial concerns? Talk about any agreements that would need to be in place, the right of way. So I wanted to let you all know that I have started those conversations with Jasper, and as long as it keeps moving forward, I'll make sure to bring anything to the boards for any approval we would need. But I have no immediate concerns with it. The city of Jasper said they would be responsible for all the costs associated with it, because once you widen the road, it's a snowball effect, right? You got the embankment that has to get taken back and have riprap, and so I just ask that they continue to work with me on that, and we'll make sure the commissioners are all on board as well. So
Yeah, I've talked to Jasper too, and it seems like something we want to support, because we're, if this is a deal breaker or a deal helper with the land acquisition, I think we want to be in board with that to improve wastewater for the rest of the county.
because in short, the property owners aren't wanting to sell the property to the city of Jasper for the wastewater treatment plant unless they can get that section of roadway widened. So that's where
It's important to them for
it's important, yeah,
whatever
for safety.
safety.
And then Lady Bridge number 78. We've made some progress on that with our consultant, American Structure Point. They've got the preliminary plans and estimate prepared. We're going to be knocking on that $700,000 range for construction costs. I am going to look at the plans, see if there's anything we can cut out that's not needed, just to see what we can do to bring the costs down. Still giving us a good quality product. I do see some areas that we can cut costs. Plans for that is to get a letting later this year and then start construction on that early next year. I want to wait until I get final plans and get the cost nailed down a little bit more before I request funds for that.
What's the location of that bridge again?
That's at where Division Road turns into 600 West, right over Patoka River.
And the bridge just needs refurbished, it needs replaced.
Yeah, it needs refurbished. It'll be keeping the existing piers and foundations. It's just rehabbing the top section of the bridge. So it will not get a full deck replacement. It will just get some of the top of the deck will get milled off and replaced with about 2 inches of concrete. And then changing out some of the bearing pads and some approach work. So it's a bridge that we can't do in-house, given the scope of the work and also the size of the structure. So that was something that was started before I got here.
And you find it necessary to so far?
Yeah, it's a very common type of repair. NDOT does these type of repairs quite a bit now, just to prevent a full replacement. Full replacement, you're going to talk millions, versus this here is going to get you a lot of service life out of it yet. So I definitely see that it's beneficial and needed. Crossvine Solar Project, that's a solar project that they've already got the approved permits to the county. We've got road use agreements in place, and they just started work on that as far as the soil borings that are needed for the preliminary design. I did reach out to them. I just wanted to sit down with them, just go over the expectations, communication, road use agreements, make sure we're all on the same page. So I've got a meeting set up with them on August 19th at the Highway Department. I can send that invite out to each of you. If no obligation to attend, but if you feel that it would be beneficial, more than welcome to stop by. It's going to be meeting with their higher ups, their main project management personnel. So, and then we had a request come in to close a short section of County Road 250 north in Ireland. If you look on the second page of the notes I've got, I marked it in red. So I kind of give you the backstory and what led up to this. NDOT has a project that they're proposing to run through Ireland on State Road 56 for sidewalks. And NDOT had a meeting on site with some of the utilities and some NDOT folks to discuss that project. And one thing that got brought up I was told by some utility officials with the Ireland was that short section of County Road 250. So the designer, HWC Engineering, who's preparing these plans for NDOT for the sidewalks, reached out to me and said, hey, NDOT would have potential interest if the county's on board with closing that section of County Road 250 permanently and incorporating that with the sidewalk project. So my understanding of that there was NDOT would cover the cost of it. They would include it in the contract as part of their job. But of course, since that's the county road, it would need the county's approval. Now this is all early preliminary conversations. So I need to evaluate it myself to see if it would even make sense to do so. My initial thoughts are yes, it would. County Road 250 there comes in at a pretty severe skew to State Road 56. So you have to look over your shoulder. It's not very ideal. Also, just to the east there, which is just out of this picture, is the intersection of State Road 56 and 500 West. And when semis are at that intersection heading west, wanting to turn on the County Road 250, there's no turn lane there. So the semi is actually sticking out into the intersection. It doesn't make sense to have it there unless there's something I'm not seeing, but I want to look into it further. And if I do feel that would be beneficial to close that section, I would want the public's input on it as well. So after I look into it, if Chad, if that's something we could possibly get on Facebook, say, hey, this is the intentions. I just want to get input. My main concern is,
of that is?
what's that?
The length?
I don't have that, no. It's
not much.
It's not much.
Well,
It's,
based on the 100-foot line there, it's probably about 200 foot.
yeah, I'd say you're right, less than 200 feet.
There's a lot of school
The only
traffic.
issue I would see there is it leads and some other plants back that way. So you got a
Yeah.
semi that would be turning left at the next intersection and then have to make a right and do like an S turn. So
That was the first thing I want to check was
You're
the
saying they turn this way, then this way again?
yeah,
I was
so they have
told-
to come in here
the next
and
road
then
up
turn
James
again
Street.
onto 250.
They could turn, but I would want to verify that, and that's where I would want the public's input.
Right. You
So-
might have to like widen that other intersection then to help the semi traffic.
There's a lot of school traffic that turns on that little road there too, that goes straight down Grant Street. Instead of some of the school traffic turning at the light and backing up the traffic, then they'll take this little
Mhm.
shortcut and go down too.
I was also informed, people have observed, when there's traffic on 250 heading east, they treat it more as a yield because
Mhm.
instead of a stop sign, because you're already coming in, normally yield you come in something at a skew, right? Or stop sign, you're used to hitting something perpendicular. So it's from a safety standpoint, it's not ideal.
And not having a turning lane there
Yeah.
on 56 is, yeah, you
And-
see that quite a bit.
When the designer was on site, the HWC, the designer for NDOT was on site along with NDOT, they said they stood there for a while, they just wanted to watch, to see semi
To
trucks,
see,
to see, and
yeah,
they noticed it right away, just in
exactly.
the short time that they were there, that, okay, this, and NDOT wouldn't propose to close this down and pay for it unless they were willing to say, hey, let's be good partners, because this affects our state road as well. NDOT's got a big push for safety. So,
Understand.
I'll see if it warrants a closure. If so, then get the county on board, including the public, and go from there. But it's early on yet, just want to bring it up for awareness.
Okay, sounds great.
And that is all I had.
Okay.
Any
Thank you,
comments,
thank you.
questions for me?
Industrial Park Road, did you ever get with Ferdinand, to talk with Mr. Sicard? Did he call you?
No.
Colin, because you gave us a report that you
Yeah.
said that you thought that the speed limit as it stood was good, and I mentioned it to him, and he thought that maybe I misunderstood what he was saying,
Okay.
and he was going to call you, but I think that was the week you were out, so.
No one's reached out to me.
Okay. So if you, maybe if you want to get on, give him a call sometime, maybe that would be
And who was that?
Ken Sicard, Sicard. He's the town board president. And so, yeah, maybe he would, maybe you guys could clarify what the desire was.
Okay, I'll reach out to him.
That's great, I appreciate it.
Thanks.
Anything else? Okay, thank you.
Good.
Mr. Snare, could you approach, please? So we just had multiple copies, is that what this is? Okay.
That's all the same, and then,
The other one.
right, and then, engineer has some ideas of producing it too, so.
Oh, we had right.
Put a letter together, multiple letters, to just figure out who we're going to.
Okay, I wanted to verify that, thank you. Did either of you want to look at this, there's a second copy. So this was sent to us previously, but it's, this is a complete version. Okay, so it's 8:30. The next item on the agenda is dilapidated building update. This is the property in DuBois. And I guess just has anyone viewed the building in the last couple days? The structure? You have?
Yeah.
Would you mind coming up and just telling us what you know so as of,
Okay, and then Mr. Slotin's here too.
Okay.
Christina Green, who was County Health Department. So I went by the property yesterday. There's a load of rock that's been placed there. There's a backhoe there. But Mr. Slotin sent me a picture this morning, and that wall is a little bit taken down. I'm not sure. Was that done yesterday, Rob?
yes.
Okay. So that's pretty much the progress that we're at right there.
Okay.
And that locks there, the backhoe.
Has any of the other stuff been taken off?
No. So I mean, I think the plan is still to move forward with getting the bids for demo, right?
That would be, that's what we're going to consider today, and I believe that's what we were gonna do. So the just from a historical standpoint on this, can you remind us, if you know this information, the original time that this was intended to be taken down was what date? Do you remember roughly? I didn't bring the paperwork with me either.
I didn't either, I thought we were past that point.
It's probably 6 months ago.
And so I guess it doesn't necessarily matter. The point was, we had a hearing on April 21st. Yes, this is what I was looking for.
Sandy's coming.
And a subsequent status hearing on May 5th, and then again on June 16th, July 7th, July 21st, regarding the property located at 5398 East Main Street. And yeah, I guess we don't need to go through the whole history of it, but at our last meeting, the Board of Commissioners decided that we had given ample opportunity for the building to be removed. A little progress had been made, so we stopped the idea of us taking it over and doing it, but it stalled again. And so at our last meeting, we said we are going to take requests for proposals and quotes to get this work done independent of the landowner. Does that sound like where we are?
Yes.
So that's kind of where we were today. Is there anything that the two of you additional have to add to say that that's not the best way to proceed?
No, I would keep moving forward with that. I mean, he obviously has made a little bit of progress, but it keeps stalling out, so I would say keep moving forward.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Flo, do you have anything you'd like to add today?
I'll just add that, yeah, I'm trying to get the rest of that wall down. I mean, all supplies are there. The block just needs to come down right now. And then I have the gravel for backfill. And then I have a dumpster that's left, and then recyclables that need to go to recycling. And that is the remainder of what was the original proposed.
Sealing the building.
Can you see what's that?
And sealing the backside of the building.
And on which I have bricks for that.
So the board has been, we were promised a date and that date passed. We were promised another date at a meeting. That was supposed to happen within a week and that date had passed. And now we're another month out and it still isn't complete. So I think the board is, at least one member of the board has said that enough time has passed that we should move forward. That's where I stand.
That's where I stand as well.
Same
And
here.
I mean, if we hire somebody in the meantime and you get it done, the full scope of the work done, then we would have to let our contractor know not to come. But I think at this point, I'm ready to move forward to hire somebody to do it, just to make sure it gets done.
Time has passed, I think.
Okay, so
And that cost incurred would be billed to you.
So we did review the Indiana code before the meeting, or I did, and we're within where we are rights to do that. So I guess, Mike, unless you have any other final comments.
I mean, the only final comment that I have, the reason why the remaining wall was up is through, it ended up being misinformation, but because it's unincorporated out in Du Bois County, as opposed to, I guess, Jasper or any other municipality that has zoning, that wall was left up because to go forward in the future, at any future date, to rebuild, that wall would have had to remain since it's so close to the property line or on the property line. And that was the only reason why that vinyl wall was left.
Yeah, so we would have different rules than what would be in the municipality, like you said, so I don't think that would make it, that wall being there or not being there would make no impact on the use of that property from anything I know. Am I wrong?
And we did speak with Mr. Swope with the Health Department after the last meeting, and we explained to him, I believe he looked up Indiana code, which probably has some zoning in it. And then we let him know that in Du Bois County, that's not an incorporated area. He would not need that wall to add any structure there in the future. So he was aware of that. I think it was about 2 weeks ago we met, maybe Tuesday or Wednesday after the meeting.
We got it.
So yeah, he was aware of that now, and that's kind of the reason he told us that it was still standing as well.
He's just explaining why it fits the scope of work the first time.
And I understand that. I know in Jasper, some people will keep a base, a foundation of a property, of a structure that they knock down, because then they don't have to get a building permit for anything. And that's kind of the range you're looking at it. So, okay, so we have a request for proposal or a quote document here. I'll just kind of read some of the information that's on this. So the project location, you're welcome to have a seat. Okay. Thank you. 53980 East Main Street, Du Bois, Indiana. We've got the parcel number. We're asking for local contractors that would do this kind of work to give us a response by August 18th of 2025 at 9 a.m. at our regularly scheduled commissioners meeting. They can submit those, any questions they have, to the county attorney or Mr. Warner at the health department, and the bids or the proposals would get, quotes, I guess, would get sent to the commissioners, and there's an address on here. The project description is on here, so this information will be made public if we approve moving forward with it. We can start accepting quotes from people. Does that sound like something we want to proceed with?
Yes.
Okay, we've all had time to review the information and the addendum. Okay, so I'll move that we approve moving forward with accepting quotes to complete the scope of this project, demolish and the southern piece of that structure, and to make the property compliant.
I'll second.
Any other discussion?
No.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That motion carries. Mr. Schneider, is there anything else you need from the board to act on this?
There's a proposed list I've worked with the county engineer on, where we'll mail those out to solicit that for our next meeting.
Okay. Anything else from the health department on this issue? Okay, thank you. We're a couple minutes early, but looks like Vanessa Phillips is here for the RISE recovery.
Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning. I have some handouts if I may.
Yes.
Good morning.
So it's like a big section.
It's a spec sheet, yeah. It's a scope of project.
Okay. Good morning. Like Chad had said, I am Vanessa Phillips. I'm the Director of Forensic Services for RISE Peer Recovery, and I oversee the IRACS program, the Integrated Reentry and Correctional Response Program inside the Du Bois County Security Center. We have been in place since March of 2025, not a full fiscal year, about 4 months. Our fiscal year runs from July to June in kind of conjunction with the state's scheduling. I submitted monthly reports based on the information collected by my team, and with that, we were able to submit data for a year-end reporting of the 4 months we've been in for state fiscal year 2025. We had 116 participants that we served in the 4-month period that had touch points to reentry, recovery, and continuity of care. We did 767 brief check-ins, so those are one-on-one peer engagements. So we did almost 800 peer one-on-one engagements in a 4-month period within the security center. We completed 120 intakes. We had 4 reactivations, so whether that was someone was in the security center, had an intake and said, no, I don't want to participate, we have to deactivate them at that time, and then maybe they re-engaged, or that could be a return to the security center after release. We did 103 recovery planning sessions, so these are our peer recovery coaches sitting down with individuals and creating a unique personalized reentry and recovery plan. And then we did 302 care coordination sessions. So these sessions are done on behalf of someone, coordinating treatment, getting insurance, going out and getting birth certificates, coordinating with the courts, attorneys and things like that to help support the individual's plan.
Can you tell us who determines a person's eligibility to participate, or is it self-enrolled?
Self-enrolled. Anyone that's in the security center or comes to the security center has access to our program.
Okay.
Yep.
Is there any reason a person would be denied?
maybe they might be deemed unsafe to work with. They might be in a period of hostility or of violence. They may be going through extreme medical issues or on suicide watch. Maybe they are accessible to our team. But outside of that, anyone that wants to engage in support or group services.
So anybody, for example, if they're in there for their second DUI and they haven't been violent, they haven't broken any jail rules, there's no reason that they would be left out.
Absolutely.
If they said, I'd like to participate.
Absolutely, yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I guess one more question.
Sure.
On the, where it says 116 participants, does that mean that at least they had one touch point with you? That could be considered
Yes.
Okay.
We run group sessions inside the jail. We do a criminal justice matrix program and a wellness recovery action planning group. We're actually about to graduate our first RAP group this week. It's a 10-week group where individuals identify a crisis plan and just kind of focus on their all-around wellness and their recovery with their mental health and substance use. Our matrix model is criminal justice based, so we look at kind of criminal behavior in conjunction with mental health and substance use sort of components. And that's a 25-week long group. And our projected graduation for that is in October. And we have 2 full pods dedicated to that program for men and 1 pod dedicated for women.
Have you had issues with people not being there long enough to get the full dosage that they need? I mean, that seems like that would be the number one problem.
Yeah, and we don't want people to be unnecessarily incarcerated, so we have a re-entry team dedicated to those individuals. So we work in coordination with the jail on anyone that's released. They provide us with their contact information, and so we try to reach out to them once they're released. And we have a really good relationship with pretrial services, probation, and so we're trying to hit them after they've gone out the door, reaching out to them, doing some education on resources, and connecting them. And they can actually become enrolled in our program if they're within that 30 days post-release, and we can offer them some services, connecting them with a long-term peer recovery coach, whether it's the peer that's embedded in King Corrections or with Safe Haven, who is our community peer organization we collaborate with.
So it's great that we're giving people the opportunity, but we can't force it on them after the fact,
Absolutely.
because that's where we always find a struggle or a tough point is once you get out, you go back to the same house, the same friends, the same circle. Some people may say, not interested in your help any longer, but they have the opportunity to get the help.
But what we have found, we're in another county jail close by, and we've been there for almost 4 years, and what we have found is that people like to talk to each other about these types of things, ironically. So when they're released from jail and they go home to their family, that may also find themselves involved with the criminal justice system, they tell them like, hey, there's help inside the jail. Talk to them, talk to the IREX team. They're gonna help you. They can help you get into treatment. We help people find housing. We've helped people get birth certificates, social security cards, IDs, help people get insurance so they can go to treatment. We provide them with transportation. Of the 6 people we placed in recovery residence, I drove someone to Lexington, Kentucky to VA treatment back in April. So we don't just pick the plan for them. We talk to them about what will help them and what we can do to find for them. And then we kind of go out and find the resources. We brought the VA in to talk to our veterans that are criminally justice involved to make sure they have the benefits they need. They're connected to the right treatments. They're getting connected to primary health care providers. We have them come in as soon as we identify a veteran inside the jail. Let's see. We've served 46 participants and we've conducted 81 group sessions thus far. So I think in the 4 months we've been in the security center, we've made a pretty significant impact already, and we're excited to see what a full year can do within the jail. We built really good relationships with the correctional officers already, and they've helped identify some individuals that they think would really benefit from support and help. It kind of takes the burden off of them, and them thinking, man, I wish there was something that could help this person when they leave. We've gotten people into the Dove House. We've taken people to long-term treatment where they can have So we're living in conjunction with clinical services. So we've been pretty happy with what we've been able to do so far. I think a really kind of interesting data point that I think speaks volumes to some of the success of our reentry peers, Samantha Striegel, who's local. We saw 24 discharges, and of those, 20 were successful. So how we measure a successful discharge is we have to have a positive 7, 14, and 30-day engagement with that individual. And 30 days may not seem like a long time, but the last thing someone's thinking about when they leave jail is talking to a peer recovery coach 9 times out of 10. You know, they're worried about a job, they're worried about where they're gonna live, they're worried about how they're gonna feed their family, they're worried about, you know, clothes. They're worried about, you know, making it to probation, you know, all those different barriers that are in the way. And she has really done an amazing job of staying connected with these people and helping them problem solve. We've gotten a lot of people employed as soon as they've gotten to community corrections because we've started that conversation before they even got there, helping them identify, where have you worked before? Okay, let's not try there, let's go somewhere else. Let's try a new opportunity that we can, so you're not hitting walls as soon as you're leaving jail and getting frustrated and getting upset and feeling like you're wanting to give up. So that's a pretty remarkable number for me. I'm excited to see how that grows in the year. Do you all have any questions for me?
So is your purpose today just to kind of give us an update, let us know how things been going?
Absolutely, yeah. I've been coordinating with the JRAC and attending those meetings. We've set up a monthly meeting with all the peer recovery coaches within that service the community, not just our organization, so we can work collaboratively more together. And I've been attending the JRAC meetings to provide information, any barriers we're seeing, so our criminal justice partners can know maybe how we might be able to improve our overall system, whether it's with mental health services, accessibility, treatment, recovery, housing, those types of things. I will note, this isn't an ask now, this is a future ask, but Chad's been a part of these meetings for JRAC, and after full year one, which Du Bois County got 4 extra months, but we would need support from the county for financial contribution, 30% match. I've provided that number to Chad in the previous JRAC meetings, and I don't know if that number will stay the same. I don't foresee it getting any higher at all. I could see it getting lower if we change structurally our staff. But right now a 30% match would be around $107,000. We've used in other counties opioid settlement dollars to help support our work. It aligns perfectly with Exhibit E, which is the exhibit for the restricted dollars. I've also reached out to the local municipality too about sharing that burden with the county.
So if you remember on our budget for this year, I did ask for our opioid dollars to be part of our budgets. That way it would be available if we decided this was the route we wanted to go with it or some other use, but we're trying to make the money available. So.
Absolutely, yeah, and staffing wise, we have a full-time supervisor. We have 2 dedicated reentry slash kind of navigator peers. We have a male group peer, a female group peer, and then we have a forensic peer inside the jail. So we have 5 staff plus myself. And I work more collaboratively with the system, with judges, probation, prosecutor's office, pretrial services, just to ensure is there any expertise that I can bring to the conversation to help with improving our systems.
And again, I think I've made a note for myself, talk to the sheriff, see what he thinks, see what the jailers think about how it's going, and I think that'd be a good idea to see. I mean, I think I know how it's going, but.
Yeah, and I would welcome you anytime to come chat with my staff. They try to get out in the community as much as they can, attending community meetings and just kind of learning about more things. outside of those efforts, we've been able to, through kind of just having community conversations, we've been able to start 2 more Narcotics Anonymous meetings in the county, through the Brosmer House and one in Huntingburg. So we're working on that recovery capital for the community as well, really sparking some of those conversations about what we're seeing as a need. Especially now that we're in the security center, you kind of get another viewpoint of what people may or may not be struggling with. Sure. Yeah.
Again, this is heartbreaking work a lot of times because a large percentage of people don't do what we think they should do, right? There's a medical component, there's psychological components, but this gives more opportunities and a little more hope for people.
Some of my other sheriffs would call me a bleeding heart, because I think people need every opportunity they can be offered, because we're in the business of saving lives, and we know that sometimes if we're not there, people die. And that's unfortunately a sad reality. But for those that, we do help, we're not just helping one, we're helping a whole family. People that have kids and spouses.
There's a lot involved.
Absolutely.
Their family disease.
Yeah. If you have any questions, I believe Sandy has my email. Don't hesitate to reach out. I'd be more than happy to have conversations or answer any questions you might have. You're welcome to the Security Center anytime to visit us. I think that is it for now. Okay. Anything else? But I appreciate your time. And we walked in the Strassen Fest parade yesterday. And man, that's an amazing parade.
It's a long one.
It was a long one, but it was very fun. It was awesome. We got to see some people in the crowd that recognized us.
Right.
So that was very
So
good.
that's good. It wasn't 100 degrees.
Right, it's 10 degrees colder this year than last year.
Yeah, so I can say it wasn't a good one this year.
That's right.
Thank you all so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for what you do.
Thank you.
You have something to fill in a couple minutes here because I want to wait till exactly the right time for the 9 o'clock meeting in case the public has comments.
The National Alliance on Mental Illness County
Mhm.
gave us a grant for Emily us to go to training the new company. And part of their grant allows you to spend $60 a day for travel, for meals, and $75 for full days, and our county handbook says $50. So I wanted permission for her to be able to spend all this grant at the hiring on there.
If necessary. Right, she has permission to go up to $60 versus
Right,
$50.
it's just part of her grant, so
Right, so
Is that a per diem or is that a?
it's her meals. It says a $60 allowance for travel days and $75 for full days for meals, gratuity at the discretion of the purchaser, and is included in the above mentioned allowance. It is encouraged that the purchaser consider a 15% minimum.
I would make a motion that we, and again, Emily Haas is the deputy, mental health deputy. So I would suggest that we move to increase the allowance for the travel as long as it's paid for by this grant.
Second.
Any other discussion?
No.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. And as I looked at that, and as I have gone out to eat with my family over the last 6 months,
That amount.
I would guess that the amount that we allow may need to increase within the next year, probably, just to be safe.
Well, and being in California, the prices are higher.
So just something that we can look at in the future if we want to. How about we talk about the county contract authority? Mr. Schneider, you want to lead that one?
Sure thing. There was a change in the law July 1, kind of address this. I think it's correspondence in a prior meeting that the law now states that no employee of the county can take action on a county contract unless it is authorized by an ordinance, which I interpreted to mean that you guys could adopt an ordinance authorizing certain individuals to do that. I looked at, I think it was 4 positions who typically would enter into those things. One is here, Mr. Sean Warner, Marky Rhodes, Community Corrections, White Man, and Levi Leffert. We do a number of things on behalf of the county, for the highway department, and everything else. So we drafted the ordinance. They still would be required to get permission, but ultimately they would be allowed to take action on those in their own name.
In the past, they would bring the contract to us, we'd say, we agree, go ahead and sign it. Now we just have to have an ordinance to do the same thing. Anyone have an issue with that?
And it can be amended if we determine that, hey, there's another employee out there that does this all the time. It does not apply to county officers. So again, all elected officials already have that authority.
You want us to
Again,
go
with the board's consent.
Yes, correct.
So, as of, July 1st of '24, it was reiterated that the county commissioners are the only
Correct.
board or body that can enter into contracts. So,
And they must get me a copy to create.
correct.
want us to sign this?
Sure. You want to make the motion, read the ordinance number, and make a motion to approve that?
Ordinance number 2025-07, ordinance regarding authority employees to enter county contracts. We have 3 signatures that need on here.
You moving for approval?
Moving for approval, please.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a first and a second. Is there any other comments or discussion on this? Mr. Warner, do you have a comment?
Yeah, can you define what a contract is? Because we sign MOUs, we sign agreements, we sign actual contracts that have money exchange. Is there a definition of that? Because
I believe
we
it's,
have 50 MOUs, are we gonna have to bring every one of those to you just because we're agreeing to provide a service for another agency and in return they're providing a service for us if an emergency may arise?
I believe the previous ordinance defined what a contract is.
Right. And I think it's in there too. I think that the majority of those would be encompassed in that. The MOU may be a little bit different because it's just, you're doing this part, we're doing this part. It's not an exchange for goods and services necessarily. But I can address those with you.
Okay. I just don't want to put more burden on you guys to review 100 different things that we do on a daily basis.
Okay, all in favor of the motion, say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed, same sign. That motion carries.
Just second, for sure.
Yeah, I did. Commissioner Armstead. No, we appreciate you, being thoughtful of it. So, but my fear almost is, even over the last year, we haven't gotten as many agreements that are supposed to go through the president of the board and the attorney that we should have. When we first talked about it last summer, we got a few. Since then, we haven't gotten very many, so I would assume there's probably offices that aren't doing things that they should. Just a warning to the offices that those can be considered void. If the county caught wind of it and maybe somebody from the community didn't like some contract, it could be voided. So just something for people to consider. Okay, it being 9 o'clock, we have Mr. Chair, would this be considered a public hearing?
It is.
A public hearing for the vacation of a public easement. I think we have down that the landowner is Taylor O'Brien, is that correct?
No, she's the attorney representing.
Taylor O'Brien is the attorney, I apologize.
Good morning, I'm Taylor O'Brien.
Good morning.
And I'm representing Keith and Jennifer Sherman. They are seeking to vacate a portion of a public utility and drainage easement that's next to their property. They're wanting to build a detached garage on their land, and it's just going to inch over into that easement. So I've attached an Exhibit A to the petition that shows a drawing from Cash Wagner and Associates, shows the approximate new build. I believe, does everyone have this exhibit?
I believe someone emailed it
Okay.
to us, I believe we've seen it. But if you have a copy of the board, they may want to see
Yeah,
it.
sure. Just got one copy.
That's fine, we'll do it then.
But as you can see on there, it shows the proposed new build, and then the 2 utilities that use the portion of the easement that we're not seeking to vacate. So the petition's not seeking to deprive any public utility of its use of the easement. And the portion that's sought to be vacated is not improved in any way, it's just yard space within the public easement. DuBois RAC and Orange County Fiber are the 2 utilities that use the portion that's not going to be vacated. They've been provided with notice, as has the adjoining property owner to the east. I believe Greg let you know that I did not send that certified, so I will get that sent certified to them. I've spoken with Mr. Nord. He has no objection to the vacation. I was hoping to get him to sign a waiver late last week, but he was out of town. So I did speak with him on the phone, and he's totally fine with everything. But I will get that sent certified. The reason for me being here today was just, we did provide notice via publication, so to provide the public with an opportunity to come and make comment if they wanted to. So really just needing to send the notice certified to the Nords to comply with the statute, and then I hope that we can hold this over until next meeting to make a final determination on whether.
So I think the rule is just that anybody who's touching it, anyone who's abutting, has to be given certified notice.
Yes.
It was in the news, we did see the certification there, so it's been made public, but not 100% compliant.
Yeah.
I've looked at the map myself, and it looks like it's not going to be an adverse loss to anyone in the community by a grant, and it is a partial.
It
Right,
is,
so
yeah.
there's still gonna be somewhat of an easement there. I would be in favor of moving forward with it or allowing it, once we get proof that the neighbor has been given an opportunity to look at it.
Sure.
Okay, yeah, I would agree.
So I don't think you have any problem from our board, short of Mr. Nord coming in and saying he's opposed, and we would cross that bridge when we get there, but I don't believe you have any worries that that'll be the case.
Okay.
Is that correct?
Yes,
You don't
yeah,
believe it?
yeah.
Do you have anything you'd like to say? I mean, probably a good idea, because you're getting what you want. So I think,
I think that you probably table the decision until
Yes, sir.
August the 18th at 9 a.m.
No, we already started at 9.
Okay, what do you got, Sandy? I'm definitely not charging. I just want to remember the
You
day.
just put the sloping, you had the sloping thing at 9, and I already had somebody there to request road closure at 9, so I'm going to move her back, so,
Move it early.
yeah, I can move her. High resolution.
so will you just email us a copy of the certification?
Absolutely, yeah.
9:15 maybe?
If you're gonna include that in there, then
Yeah.
again, if somebody shows, then we'll hear from them. If they don't, then they'll make a determination.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That ordinance will be for next time.
Okay.
You have some surplus.
We have some surplus items here. These are, again, it appears to be from the DuBois County Ambulance, and says they recently purchased some new pagers and like to dispose of the old ones listed below. They have broken knobs, won't hold charge, or are unable to use them for parts as they're discontinued. So there's 4 pagers. I'll make a motion that we approve declaring these items surplus to be removed from inventory.
I'll say
Any other discussion?
Nope.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carried.
Can I add a couple items to that while I'm here, or not?
That'd be fine.
All right,
So
so,
first off, did you look here for the space needs that you had, or was that for paperwork?
yeah, I emailed you this morning about that. So we did acquire a little bit of space, since we lost 3 employees to the cuts, so we're okay for right now, but if we need it in the future, we will. So I sent out an email, we have a cabinet, that we no longer need in the health department. Nobody in the county wanted it or could use it. So at this time, I'd like to ask to either declare it surplus or so we can discard it. And then we also have 3 health department logo shirts. We had an employee, we ordered back in like January, February, through a local company. It took them a couple months to get them embroidered, and the employee since left. So we have 3 shirts left over. We were able to allocate the other ones to other employees, and then they paid their taxes on them according. But we have 3 of them left over that nobody wants. So I don't know what you want us to do with those. Can we declare them surplus and just discard them? Because they will only fit a very small percentage of my employees, and nobody.
Whether they're just really large or really small?
They're really small, yeah.
Yeah. Hate for you to get rid of them, you just hang them somewhere? Stick them in a closet in case.
Well, the problem is, if I keep them, then I have to put them on inventory and I have to track them, and then nobody's ever gonna use them, and it's just a wasted effort.
You feel it, the likelihood of you using them are pretty slim.
Yeah, because I'm not
Unless you
gonna,
have to hire somebody to say
How about you do, well, I'm happy to declare those items surplus, and you can just, you can bring them in here, or you can do what you need to do.
They'll declare them surplus, and then you can still hang on to them and give them to the next one.
well, yeah, that's a possibility. We
But then
probably
you gotta
won't
track.
discard them, but I don't wanna have to put them on my inventory as a problem.
Right.
It's no use tracking.
T-shirts go in the inventory, I thought they had to have a
If-
minimus amount.
See, we purchase these and then we pay taxes on them. They're not a uniform. I don't know how the highway does theirs, but, we have to pay personal taxes on them, and then there are our shirts to wear. But she's saying if nobody claims these, nobody pays taxes on them, then we've purchased them through county grant dollars, then they're county property, we have to track them on inventory. And I don't really want to do that because what's the purpose?
We've already spent more time on it than necessary.
Exactly.
How about this, we'll do the shirts, I'll make a motion, we declare the 3 shirts surplus items to be disposed of at the director's wishes.
That's like,
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. As far as the cabinet, is the cabinet, I mean, I saw the pictures of it, it looks like it works fine.
It's perfectly fine, it's just that we do not have a need for it. In the past, we have offered it to whoever wants it, individual wise, because obviously nobody in the county wants it, rather than having to pay to dispose of it in the dumpster. I mean, it's a perfectly fine cabinet, we just don't have a use for it anymore.
I'd like to,
Yeah, I mean, if somebody wants to come pick it up, I'm really not in a moving business. It's pretty heavy, it's pretty large.
Yeah, Restore may come and pick it up.
how about we,
We've tried that.
It won't be that bad.
It was a good thought.
Yeah. You have to.
do we wanna put it,
Oh,
do we wanna have it stored, kept here somewhere?
It's basically an armoire. It's got one door that would hold coats and stuff, and then the other
You
side
don't
is
like
just
having
shelves.
You don't like crap sitting
I
around?
don't hoard anything. We don't need it, get rid of it.
Okay, I think we have a decision.
So
So
get rid of
we'll
it.
declare the, I'll move that we declare the cabinet or more.
I'm pretty sure if I open it up to any individual that wants it in the county, somebody's probably gonna take it. If not, in the past, we've put stuff in our, drive-through and put free on it, and it just disappears.
That works.
Okay, that works.
Okay, so we declare that surplus.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Thank you.
Okay, let's go ahead and move forward with the next item on the agenda. We're a couple minutes early, but I believe the people are here for the Pedigree Pro Pet Services had some comments of local issues.
Hi, good morning. Thank you for your time and then all of the efforts that you guys do. I know it's not very easy and it's pretty daunting at times, I'm sure. I just wanted to bring a few things.
Who are you, please? for the
Oh,
record?
I'm sorry. My apologies. I'm Allison Engel, owner, operator of Pedigree Professional Pet Services on 3rd Avenue in Jasper. I have been operating here in the community for 15 years, 30 plus in my industry. I will open this with saying I am a transplant. And coming from 2 states that have some sort of oversight in my industry, since 2020, when the city changed the animal ordinance verbiage and requirements, I have seen a huge uptick, not only in free enterprise, but in population, transplants who are coming from these other areas that have these oversights. So there is an expectation now of our community, of our businesses, especially in my industry, the pet industry as an overall, that there were certain things in place that really currently are not. And again, I am so happy to see so many people passionate about animal care and providing for the community. However, I feel, as I mentioned back in 2020 at the city board meeting, there's a responsibility from our community leaders to really start taking a better look at this. We're having more homes with more pets. So you're no longer like 50 years ago where maybe in the neighborhood there was 2 people that have pets. It's pretty much every household, and every household has not just 1, but potentially 2 to 3. Some, like a neighbor across the street, has 5. And then you have the exception to the rule where people are fostering for the Humane Society. So there may be a short period of time there are multiple pets in the home, and that's where there is that gray area of the local ordinance that had changed. The industry to JQ Public is any business is somehow responsible, somehow doing their due diligence and is licensed in some way. Many clients, when I talk to them about licensing, don't even realize that the pet grooming industry has no license. We're self-regulated. So I know I'm bringing this, my husband says I'm bringing this to you, and it sounds like I'm complaining about competition and a downfall of some of our services being used, and that is not it. My concern is for the pets in our community as a whole. I have gone through multiple levels of certification and licensing on my own. I am for Indiana's first AKC Safe Certified salon, which basically takes OSHA and my industry and kind of merges it so that employees are protected and pets are being handled safely and compassionately. My current certification, I am also a teacher associated with Nash Animal Academy of Fine Arts out of Kentucky. I am a test facility. So what I'm saying, I have trained a few of these people that are in our community, and I'm proud to say that, and I'm happy that they sought out that education. But you're looking at just 600 hours alone that they invest in that just to get their foot in the door. Now, there are other states, I'll use California, New York, Rhode Island, of course, they're all Democratic states, but that just happens to be a coincidence. Either the Department of Agriculture oversees those businesses, and the health department comes in when these businesses are established, whether in those particular scenarios, they're brick and mortar, or they're mobile. So there is a particular unit that the service is being operated within, not from the home or the garage or the basement of a personal residence. And with that, there is the necessity of insurance. And with that inspection, because the industry deals with biologicals, the health department is making sure there are sanitary needs and processes in place for health and wellness. Currently, that doesn't exist. I can tell you 15 years ago when I went to open, I walked into the building next door, and asked, where do I file for a business license? And I was astonished that the community doesn't even require a business license for a small business to open up. And I happily walked away, but was told, go check with the health department. I went to the health department, they didn't know what I was talking about. They were just like, have your EIN number and more power to you. So back 15 years ago, I had a red flag, but I operate as if I do have some governing body who can walk in at any given time, and I don't have a problem with that. But since then, these last 5 years, I have seen businesses open, clients then come to me and they go, oh, my dog, this happened and that happened. I can't speak to how somebody was trained. I can't speak to what your legal recourse could potentially be, because as far as I know, there's nothing that is existing to help these businesses remain above board. And when I brought that up 5 years ago, when they changed the animal ordinance, I told the board, businesses in the animal industry should be held to a higher standard, because we are dealing with the clients in a much larger capacity than JQ Public having their own personal pets. And I was told, it's okay, you're excluded, which I was kind of taken back from that responsibility that I think that should have been looked at more. So my reason for bringing this to you, I had a post on Facebook telling clients, whether they choose my business or any other business, some questions that they should ask: how people are trained, do they have insurance, who is their insurance carrier, things of this nature to better protect them and so that they are better informed. But as I said, things growing the way they are, more and more people who are coming into the community and leaving other states for whatever their various reasons are, the landscape is changing. The business landscape is changing, the traffic is changing. So I don't actually know how this is going to affect anything that you can or cannot do, other than maybe require any businesses have a health inspection or have the Department of Agriculture, since they deal with animals on a larger scale, and because they deal with them in commodity scenarios and housing scenarios, that they come in and inspect the businesses. I know that's a tenuous job, but being how small right now the current landscape is, it could potentially save our community pet owners from heartache and from other problems that can be caused, transmission of diseases, kennel cough. Proper education offers a business owner the ability to better inform pet owners. I don't know how many times, I know the two of you, and we did training, but the thing is, I'm always telling clients, this particular thing is a communicable disease. This is why I have to have these records. That's the other thing. I require vaccination records. The state itself, every state, it has a mandatory rabies certificate. That's all that is required. And because there is no regulation in my industry, anybody who opens up can go to Rural King, Tractor Supply, grab a clipper in the county, put a sign on the lawn, depending on if there is even an ordinance where they live that, maybe they get permission from their neighbors, but what neighbor isn't gonna say, yeah, I'm gonna have a groomer living next door that's only gonna charge me $5, and they're not gonna think twice. And yet this person opens up and now they're taking tax revenue from another business who has gone through lengths for the industry. But the other thing is, they're not protected. Now you've got more traffic. Does this person even know that kennel cough is an airborne disease? Do they even know how to properly deal with a skin situation that is communicable, like ringworm? People don't think of it. They think of it, oh, well, I got ringworm. But in the pet industry, in my industry, ringworm is probably worse than COVID was. I will put on a hazmat suit if I'm dealing with an animal with ringworm, and COVID I could kill. Okay, it's a cold. My body has an immune system. When you're dealing with a parasite or a fungus, it's a very different world. And I know that because I've gone through multiple certifications for this education and this knowledge, so I can promote health and wellness of my clients and my pet owners. In closing, I just wanted to say that I think it's something that, because it's not going away, it's just going to keep growing. It is something that needs to be looked at in a more serious avenue. Like I said, I'm all for free enterprise. I don't want to stop anybody from opening a business, but there is a right way and there is a wrong way. And just because you can skirt something to get by, just to do this side hustle, and that's basically what ends up happening. There are people who open up for a side hustle. I'm going to do it on the weekend. I'm going to do this at night because I love my animals and whatnot, but they're doing more harm, because if there is a communicable skin disease or something and they don't have the proper training on how to sanitize, how to clean, how to properly inform and promote veterinary services for this animal, there can be catastrophic results. So I don't know if you have any questions about anything that I said or the post. I did send a link for that post.
How about you give us, if you had 3 things that you thought were the most important things to you that you would ask of us, what would those things be?
A health department inspection of safety protocols for sanitation and cleaning of equipment and surfaces.
So does anybody do that for, let's talk, I would assume a veterinarian is going to be a higher level of scrutiny. Does the Department of Health or Board of Animal
I
come
can
down and
answer
do
that
that?
question.
I didn't know if different levels did different things.
No, actually, I can say this clearly, in Indiana, when you're talking about the difference between a veterinary and any other business that deals with pets, vets have a license. In order for them to operate, they must complete so many hours of school, pass a health board examination, and then they can operate, and then opening a business then falls under whatever that purview is, how building the building, is there a business license?
Right.
I still think it's crazy that Jasper Du Bois County doesn't ask for a business license. I know every business goes, I don't want to pay another license. Well, you can have, I've had experience in other places where when you implement something like a business license, you can grandfather in existing businesses with a 15, 10, 20 year, okay, here's a one-time $5 fee for the business license. You've been providing the service for years in the community. We just want to be able to prevent problems down the road. And it's every 5 years for an existing business. That's not a big ticket for a business to put. They lose money more than having something that they can actually check off on a checklist when it comes to their house.
So we got inspections, license the businesses, and what would another one be?
Required education, certificate program for I can use NASH, it's 600-hour proof of education. So 400 of those hours are hands-on under the guidance of an instructor. 200 hours are credit hours of education, actual book learning. As far as parasites, history of the animals, so forth.
Do you have an example of a harm done to an animal or to a person?
I can tell you how it hits their pocketbook. A dog gets cut on their neck from improper education or an accident, and now they have a vet bill.
Are you aware of that happening locally?
Yes, I
Or
have
you
actually.
assume that it's a risk?
It is a risk.
I understand that it's a risk, but do we know of any actual harms done to animals or people?
Harm done, there was actually an arrest for animal neglect. Somebody in their home, it was a dog trainer, and it was, I can't remember, not Neil, I think his name was Neil. He actually, where Downtown Dog used to be, he operated when they moved there, but he had 3 dogs in his home that he was training, and they were emaciated. 2 actually died from being the neglect, and 1 was just severely malnourished and dehydrated. So.
And he was unlicensed, uneducated, and not inspected.
Yes, not inspected. He had the dogs in his home, but he had a brick and mortar. So like there's, and I was gone for the weekend. I think his stance was, if I remember correctly, I had somebody else taking care of the dogs while I was gone on the weekend. I'm a business owner. I have employees. I may leave for a vacation, but I entrust the business to them with the education I've given them and I've trained them. But ultimately it falls on me if something goes wrong. I have insurance. My insurance isn't just business insurance. I actually have a rider that offers $2 million in the event of a death or major injury to an animal in my care with a necropathy requirement if there is a death. And what a necropathy is, an autopsy for animals. And anybody who is in my industry of any type, training, boarding, grooming, should have that specific rider on their insurances. Now, can I make that mandatory? I don't know if that is even a possible thing. But I know every place that I've ever operated, I've had that to protect my client owners and the community at large.
I know that animals, people care about their animals.
People a little more crazy. There are some, you could say, are helicopter parents, but when it comes to animals, they just automatically assume these things are in place, and I know that they are not. I always tell people I can't talk about anybody. This is what you have to protect you, and this is why this is this way, and why I need these things. But 15 years, and it's almost like now recently I'm back to square one where I'm educating client owners because they're coming in already assuming some of these things are in place and kind of shocked that they're not. And that's why I thought it would be prudent for me as an advocate for pet health and wellness to just come in and just kind of put it on your radar. Like I said, I think a business license helps the community and your tax dollars, because that revenue that comes in from these business licenses, you can then use to help fund your police department, fire department, or an officer who is a county sheriff. That revenue can go to many other places. And like I said, at its inception, to lessen the blow to the ego of existing client business owners, you make it a small monetary $5, but in 5 years, it will be a $20 fee. I don't think I've ever paid in any place that I've operated more than $50 for my business license. But my business license was contingent on a passing checklist from wherever. So the health department had to, before I could get my business license, I had to have a certificate. The health department came in and checked my safety protocols. In Rhode Island, I had to have the fire chief come in and check that off. And I did have to pay for those people to come in and inspect my business. It was a cost of operating my business. Well, what was that fee? I don't necessarily know what that would be here or how that would look, but I know I paid $25 for the health department to send somebody in to look at my safety protocols, and I had to spend $40 for the fire chief to come in and make sure that the business was safe for operation. And then I took that with my $50 fee to the business office, and I got my business license, and then I was free to operate. Now, doing that gives those two other entities, they, at any point in time, if there was a community complaint, they could walk in unannounced to inspect. And that is, I felt, was a nice safety net for the community to know that if somebody did have a bitch, and they brought, excuse my language, and brought it to the health department because they feel that it was that business's fault, then there's some recourse. There's a way for pet owners to actually see if this is founded or unfounded, if there is a problem that they perceive.
Anybody have any questions or comments?
No, I wasn't aware that there was no license.
No licensing, yeah. Unfortunately, the industry itself there's a lot of push back and forth, but usually the ones who are like, I don't want any licensing, are usually the ones that, self-taught is great. There's a lot of talent, but once you realize that this is the way you want to go, then there's getting the education to, like, as I said, health and wellness of your client. And that's what my main concern is for the pets. Accidents happen. I'm dealing with implements, as I call lovingly, of destruction, sharp shears, clipper blades, and my target of grooming is a moving, living, breathing entity. And at any point in time, it's an animal at its best. As much as we look at them as a person in a little fur suit, they are instinctual. There's only 5 things that dog is really interested in: eat, sleep, procreate, get some extra love, more eat. They're not thinking in the same terms. There are animal advocates, animal rights advocates that look at them like they're human children. Dogs and cats, because I groom cats as well, do not have the gift of reason. Therefore, they were all instinctual. And if you look at it that way, yeah, all of a sudden you don't know the structure of the dog and you move it a certain way, it's going to turn around and bite. That's a normal hazard. Just like if you're welding, you could get hot weld on your skin because it splattered. And if you haven't had proper training, it's going to happen more than if you did have training. So we require our electricians, our contractors, our plumbing and heating persons to have some form of education in order to operate a business so that they can do their job safely and efficiently. But yet, with the growing industry, we're not looking at it the same way. We're just kind of turning a blind eye, whereas I was told, don't worry, you're excluded. And I don't feel that that ever should be the case.
All right, well, I think you've given us some public education and given us some education, so we appreciate you being here today. And we'll take it under advisement.
And I'm available should anybody ever need any other questions answered or have any concerns. Sorry.
Sounds good, thank you.
I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so it's 9:30, we'll get into the healthcare discussion here in just a moment. I'd like to take 1 minute, for that's okay with you, so we'll get back to this. You here just for Dominic? Report. So you did mention that at the beginning.
Yeah, I know. Push on. But, you know, you drive up and down the highways, you see all kinds of stuff out. The state seems to be spraying some, and not only where the county is, but God, we need more. Either some more personnel, some more chemicals, another truck, but to dedicate it. Oh, yeah.
Every year.
Yeah. You did the office after all?
I will be, of the band?
Yeah.
Yes, I'll be there. You need me?
Time.
Whenever this is over, plus a half hour.
Yeah, I got a couple things.
Report? Yeah. Hey, Chad, bless you. So, we don't have you on the agenda, but you're welcome.
to see this because I've got several ideas floating in the back of my head. This county's went to crap.
Okay, what I was gonna tell you was that, whenever we're done with the health insurance, discussion, there is we let public comment, so if you wanted to hang out till then, you have a public comment, you're welcome to do it then. If not, I just wanted to give you the heads up that that's how this
What
works.
time is that?
Depends how long this takes. I mean, this could take 15 minutes or it could take a damn hour and a half, depending on how it works. We'll give these people, myself, I'm the one that does most of the talking, depends how long that takes, so. I just wanted to give you a heads up.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
I went down to, coal mine on Saturday. I took, and the place looks, I looked at it, I can't believe what it looks like now from here. It looks pretty awesome. I took some panoramic pictures of different stuff, I mean, it looks downright amazing. I have been down there. They made that wall so laid back and stuff. And there was somebody out there with a dozer yesterday.
Yeah, the wall.
Oh my God, they're yeah. The pictures don't justify. We went side by side riding all day on Saturday. And we went back in there and stuff, and it was just the way it's laid, slope back and stuff. It looks amazing.
I didn't know that they would be able to get that high wall.
Yeah. I mean, I wish we had double the money that we have to spend on this, but it's.
Afraid the road's gonna seep through
Well, Bart, we're doing the best.
Get all that money for.
Well, I understand that, but we've got so much money to work with, Bart.
Well, I know,
We're doing the best we can do with what we got.
we destroy one guy's property and another guy we let destroy property so he gets financial benefit.
We're doing the best we can do with what we got. We don't like, the way they pick off any more than anybody else, so.
Whole county suffers, so one guy can benefit.
And that water that's in there is just, so, oh my God, it's unbelievable.
Water always looks so fast when we do it, balls are crushed down, and I'm sure it has something to do with the line.
Mhm.
But The water in these quarries always looks so deep.
Yeah, it's all blocked instead of, yeah, I mean, like if you go down to Kentucky Lake, the water's just unbelievable. I mean, it all comes off of rock and stuff. It's, yeah.
I think there's not as much sediment.
Right.
Because it's rock.
Right, exactly. Yeah, you don't have all that in there, but we went riding back in there on Saturday and stuff. It didn't allow it. We always go there.
I get the county road permit from, I got the title to get a road permit.
You just have to have your side-by-side registered.
Yeah, but yeah, that title gets registered.
CFO, yeah, some kind of a title, some kind of paperwork, yeah, that's gonna be your stuff.
I just had bought it, never got a title. I bought it for that.
Oh,
Title. So I don't know if I could get it. I mean, it's not my-
has he ever had it registered?
I don't think so.
You're gonna have to have the VIN number.
I apologize for holding this up.
Nope, you're fine.
Walk into the health department.
You're fine.
So, no, I thought it was interesting that we learned a little bit more about the local grooming situation.
Yeah, I made some notes on there, that's, it's pretty interesting when I got that email to begin with. Kind of opened your eyes a little bit.
Yeah, on one hand, I think people have to do their due diligence. If you're taking your vehicle, yourself, or your animal somewhere, you gotta know what you get yourself into.
More and more people with pets, so.
Well, it's kind of, I had a restaurant, so I had the $150 permit each year, and typically one or two visits from the health department, and
A lot of inspections.
but at the same time, those 2 inspections, I'm open 365 days a year, and I have 2 inspections. I used to joke with my inspector that, of course, anytime you came in, it would look nice, but it really only had 2 days a year.
Those surprise inspections,
Right.
matters.
But your customers are your ultimate, like, when your customers come in and it's dirty, or they got sick from your food or whatnot,
Critics.
it won't take long before you're out of business.
Yep.
You don't need too many animals getting hurt.
Right.
Or too many people getting sick. Right. And it takes care of itself.
So, of course,
Just like you pointed out.
you don't
there's
want
so many
anybody to get
people-
sick, but,
Yeah, so many people, so many more pets.
right.
Okay, well, next, this is a topic we spent a lot of time on. I think I have more paperwork on health insurance than I do on any other topic over the last 9 years, so.
Marky, you need to simplify this.
I know, I got true.
Seriously.
And do we need, are you guys wanting to stick around for the conversation, or you want to, if you'd like to leave, I don't know that we have other.
It's up to you if you want us here to discuss it. If you want us to talk, I don't mind staying until.
I think you understand.
Saying up? Okay.
All right.
Let's get started.
So, what we're going to discuss today is prescription pharmacy changes and medical plan changes. We're not ready to necessarily discuss the wellness plan design yet because I'm still working with Deaconess on they're adding an employer's clinic. That is going to happen at the end of the year or the first of the year, so I know we're discussion about that. And I'm also discussing with them about having a wellness component built into that for us. So not
For
ready
the clinic.
for the clinic. So I'm not ready to tackle that yet. So I just don't have all the data ready for that. So we're still talking back and forth what that's going to look like, additional cost, and if there is any. So once we get there, hopefully next commissioners meeting, we can discuss that. Hopefully tomorrow. Yeah. So,
Okay.
what I got for you here initially here is this graph right here. Just kind of do a little icebreaker here, if you will, about the medical care costs. I know employees have been talking about it, so I thought, well, let's just talk about it in this meeting a little bit. So this is from the BLS. So that just shows you from a standpoint of new cars, clothing, TVs, childcare, average hourly wages, housing. As you can see, the most expensive there at 256% increase from 2000 to 2024, 256% increase in healthcare costs. So it's not a Du Bois County issue. It's a U.S. issue, but just to give you an idea of why we're having healthcare conversations. runaway cost for, like I said, not just us as employers, it's every employer fighting this. But
So hospital services, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, are up 256%. A little lower on the list of medical care services, they're up 138.6%, and this is just over the, I think you said since the year 2000.
Yep.
So there's a couple of them that are germane to what we're discussing today.
So that's really it there. Just want to share that standpoint. The next thing is the cost shift a lot of times is getting Medicare eligible folks off the plan onto Medicare if they qualify. This here, I just used the Jasper zip code. This is just for original Medicare plus having a growth plan on Part D. As you see down there, total monthly premiums, $185, $316.60, depending on what plan you choose. Why I'm mentioning that is why people are shifting from our plan to Medicare, because Medicare is going to cost more money than our healthcare premiums. So,
And those are single individuals?
yes,
For
yeah.
a single plan?
Yeah, so just to put it in perspective, just so employees and as well as you guys know, that's where we're at on that. And then the second piece here, I've got highlighted. Not really worried about the front page as much as the back page of that. So Medicare Part B premiums for 2026, they're expected to increase to $206.50 from $185 in 2025. That's a jump of $21.50 per month, or 11.6% increase. That's the largest Part B increase since 2022, which it rose 14.5% then. So from 2022 to 2026, just those 2 years alone, nothing in the middle, you're talking 26.1% increase in premiums for Medicare plans. So as we get that information, now we can kind of turn to the plan design stuff here.
And for the, if I could, just to kind of set the tone for the discussion, I made a couple notes here that, is this what you just handed us any different than what you?
No, that's the same thing that I gave you previously, just so you had a copy. I didn't know if anybody had them with them, so I made copies. So.
I think the idea that I want to set the tone with is that I believe the board and myself, we want to provide great benefits and keep the great employees. So we want to keep them happy and make these a good benefit. The idea, though, that we have to consider is that we have to balance providing great benefits to the people with the, while at the same time being thoughtful of the taxpayers who we all work for.
Mm-hmm.
You know, who are really, every dollar they earn, a piece of it goes to pay for these benefits. And I think a telling thing that happened from some data you gave us last time, or maybe a time before, was that for the 6 months from November of 24 through April of 25, the average cost per employee each month was $1,968.77, which is $72 a month higher than what it was from the previous 6 months.
Okay.
So,
Yes,
I mean, we're getting close to $2,000 per month per employee on average of what these things cost. And I mean, the critical thing is this is going to be over a $5 million expense for healthcare this year. I mean, if the trend continues where we were last year and where we are this year, we're going to be at $5 million of spend, which is considerable. The changes that we make today or we consider today will likely not even keep pace with the increase of the cost when we're trying to take care of a piece of it.
Mm-hmm.
So the benefit to the employee, the value of it and what the expense is will be this much, and what we do today will be a portion of it, because we're trying to keep up with those numbers. Like you said, 25% for that Medicare over a 3-year period.
Yes.
Right? We're not going to do things that are going to be that
detrimental.
Right. So I just think that I hope people understand that we care about not only the taxpayer but we care about the employee too. We're trying to keep a little more of a balance with it, and we can't keep spending taxpayer dollars without employees having a little bit of a piece of that, I think. So that's kind of just where I wanted to start. Does anybody else have any initial comments before we dig into it any deeper?
No, I don't.
Do you think if I'm off base anywhere, please
No.
let me know.
I agree with everything you shared there.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think, obviously, we still want to be, employer of choice, being able to recruit folks, retain folks, people's most important asset. And I think even with these proposals that we got, they are changes, but I think they are doable changes. There's nothing here that we're proposing that's going to be major impactful. We are taking consideration in, a 2% increase in salary for next year's proposal. So all that's very important as we look into things. So I think what we'll do is that first staple of the prescription pharmacy changes, if we want to look at there first, the only thing that is different from this is the same exact proposal that I went over like a month ago. The only thing I did add was proposal number 3. The reason why I added that was kind of be a bridge between proposal 1 and proposal 2. So basically in proposal 3, it is going to be tiers 1 through 4. Those changes will carry on into proposal number 3. Besides, in proposal number 3 there, we are taking a less deductible. We're going to take the same deductible that was proposed in proposal number 2. So it's kind of a bridge gap between those 2 proposals there on number 1 and number 2. That's how I derived number 3. It's kind of that middle ground. I wanted to add that just as a topic of discussion as we look at that. So other than that,
Do you have a copy for me?
You're right here, you need.
Oh, thanks.
I would say I can definitely get you a copy too. So if you need any of that,
So that's the one we're talking about right now.
Yeah, because mine just said 2. He gave me.
oh, okay. I don't know if you need that or not. That's what we just discussed. We were both gonna add it.
So we have a current plan, and we have some, so is proposal number 1, is that the one that Houchins is, behind, or are they behind?
Yeah, proposal number 1 is the one that Houchins is behind on the prescription pharmacy.
Okay, so they are looking at a doubling of the individual and family deductible.
An increase of 10% on tier 2.
Right.
And an increase of 10% on tier 3.
So let's talk about the biggest issue here probably, I think, for the board. Tier 4, specialty drugs. We have a big spend on that each year. What is it, $600,000?
We're approaching $1 million in claims.
Closer to $1 million.
$1 million in claims on special drugs.
Huge spend. That's 20% of our spend that has major impact on some of our employees. We are not required to provide those. We could make them not available, and that would be the biggest bang for our dollar, right? But it's also going to be very impactful for a small number of employees, but still, it's going to be very impactful for those employees. And I believe when Houchins was here, they say that there's other employers, probably many, that don't cover those. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, there is, and I did some research on some governments, city, county governments, and there are several that they've had to make that decision just because they can't deal with the runaway healthcare costs, So they pulled the trigger on there just for the cost savings behind them.
So I don't know that I'm comfortable with pulling that. I think that the employees need to know that if we go from 5 million to 6 million, it just keeps going up. At some point, we're gonna have to make significant cuts. And if, I'm not in favor of getting rid of that myself right now, even though that is a big bang issue. We could do just that issue, and that would probably take care of more than all of these other ones combined.
Probably so, yes.
But how does the board feel on specialty drugs?
I think if we want to take them away, we need to have a plan to kind of work away from it, not all at once. So those employees that do use it have, time to work their stuff. If we did the proposal number 1, for example, with the 40 and 50%, and then we ramped that up a little bit each year for the course of 5 years to take it away, I might be able to get behind it. I definitely don't want to do it all at one time.
Commissioner Stepanoff?
Yeah, definitely not at one time. I do have a question. So if someone, say, had a generic drug that they have been on for several years, so they end up going to the name brand because of, it's a specialty.
Maybe it's not working, the generic's
Right,
not
the
working
generic.
anymore for them or something.
Exactly, you have to go to the specialty drug. And then you're paying so much more. I mean, by patient, it's really not their choice that they have to go on to that specialty drug, and then.
I think you're looking at
You know, I don't want it to be
But
not
generic, you go to
available.
Brand, you go to brand before. you go to
Brand
special.
name,
Yeah.
Right, so I think if you look on the form, and Mark, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but, so you're saying if a person's on tier 1, generic,
yes.
they're not gonna go from generic tier 1 to tier 4. Tier 4 specialty drugs are drugs that are, a lot of times are formulary, they have to be made, they're special. Almost nobody is gonna go from a generic drug. There is no,
Think the TV commercials. That's gonna be your big specialty drugs.
Okay,
The ones you're seeing on TV, them are the ones that's.
so they would have to go through multiple other tiers before that, it would be a whole different drug to go to a specialty.
so it's
Yes.
like a generic, name brand, and then specialty?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. All right,
Like, I'm trying to think of what one would be, but there's,
And sometimes you got the tier 2, your tier 3 on your brands, your
Yes.
preferred, your non-preferred.
yes.
So that happens at the TrueScripts level or the PBM. That we don't really control that. They do change their formulary. They might throw one on preferred brand and then some on non-preferred brand. That's something that's internal with the PBM. We really don't have no control over that.
Okay,
That's internal with the pharmacy. So
and I'm with both of you, I agree that if we do anything like that, it would have to be we could phase it.
we would have to.
And I think of, as I was studying these, I also think so from the current plan to the proposal number 1, where it doubles the individual deductible, I don't know that, I'm not in favor of doubling the deductible, but I do think, proposal 3, where it goes up to 3,000, 6,000, I think that's fine, and if that doesn't work, then we can step up to that next level, or we can plan today to step up, right? Because sometimes it's nice to implement something and then already have a plan for the next,
and then
step up.
you can also see if we're just looking at proposal 3 with the current plan, you're going to see it not to generic level. We're going to leave that at $5, but you will see an increase in those co-pays at that brand and specialty level as well. Again, that's primarily, there's alternatives out there that TrueScripts has got, as well as we implemented RX Protect, for folks to get these drugs, a lot of these drugs at no cost to them, that would be significant savings to the plan. So again, that's just another way to say, hey,
If they
Yep.
just
participate. If you're not, you're gonna have to pay more for these prescriptions because they're obviously continuing to increase in cost, and we are still covering them, but you're gonna pay a little bit additional co-pays on them, so.
So, I mean, I have a feeling of which direction I'd like to go. Do we want to get to just have that discussion first, just on the pharmacy? I mean, I guess where I'm at today would be to do the proposal number 3. And if we need to step up the individual or family deductible, we can make that decision in the future, or we can, one note that I had is the suggestion was for us to go to 4,000 and 8,000. I was going to suggest that we go to 3 and 6. And if we want to, we can either just leave it at that, or we can plan for a step up to 4 and 8 in 2028, for example, if we wanted.
No, I would agree. I'm leaning towards proposal 3. I just don't want to make a big hit on people all at once.
And I think that's a very fair bridge between all those proposals, so.
Commissioner Stetson, have thoughts?
I understand the medication part of it. The deductibles, I don't know, I see the 2,000 where we are current and then goes up to 3, which I'm okay with that, but the family jumps up from 4 to 6. I'm not real comfortable with that one.
So with a deductible of $6,000, if a person would need to, they'd have to have a very they would be costing the plan a ton of money to get to that high.
Well, unfortunately, you've got some drugs that'll hit that month 1, so, I mean, that's the reality of it. So you got something special, yeah.
I guess the thing that I calmed myself about it is the people that are getting the most benefit are paying a little more. Right?
Oh, correct.
A person that costs the plan $200,000 is gonna pay $6,000. They're gonna pay 3% of that.
Correct. Now, let me step back here. Generic drugs, we got a 91% dispensing rate on generic drugs, which is fabulous. That's awesome. So 91% of the drugs that's leaving the pharmacy on the DuBois County plan, they're paying $5 for. So It's just that other 9% that's gonna fall into that brand and specialty category. So,
So go ahead, I apologize, I think I probably interrupted you, Commissioner.
yeah,
No, you're okay, I was
just put it in perspective.
Right,
And also to put it in perspective, you know, most people's not on multiple specialty drugs. So, you know, if I'm on one specialty drug and it happens to be on that RX Protect list, I can get it for free and I don't touch that deductible. It's just smart consumer spending, you know, when it comes to that.
We gotta get people to participate in that RX Protect.
But we've got several people that's involved in it, and actually we got several employees that are really, I would say, corporate cheerleaders, if you will. You know, they really, because they're involved in it and it's working so well, they're like, why would anybody not do this? There's several that are, several that's not. So, you know.
So we're giving people opportunities to try to lessen the burden.
Correct. Yeah. Well, I think I promoted that in the newsletter and through emails and stuff. I'm like, look, we need your help, you know, and it's like, we try, you know, and we've sent mailers to the house. I've got to do another mailing campaign again next week. So we'll hopefully be able to capture a few more folks, but, you know, again, it's a voluntary service. Can't make them do it, but if they don't do it, you can control the plan and
the info's out there, you just need to grab
you
it.
know, make the cost a little more expensive if you don't want to go that route, you know.
I'd be okay with moving forward with proposal 4 as is with no plan to step up in the future. I just wanted to put that out.
I mean, 3.
Plan 3, yes. It's the 4th one listed on here, but yeah. Proposal 3.
I agree, and I will say to the family deductible, I'm one of those guys that's the family. There's 2 of us earning money in that household, you know. That's a pretty big jump,
I
but
think it is.
I mean, I understand the need for it, and hopefully I won't have to pay a full $6,000.
I just don't agree with the family deductible. Other than that, proposal 3. I would like to see that down.
So, from your perspective, would you like to have a formal vote on each one of these?
I would, yeah, if we can, and then we'll make a formal vote on a prescription, then we can make a formal vote on the medical if we're ready to do so.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we approve prescription pharmacy changes and using proposal number 3 as presented to us.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
All right, last thing I've got to discuss here is the medical, and again, you've got a current, a proposal number 1, a proposal number 2. All 3 of those, you guys have seen those during the last meeting. Proposal number 3, that is a new one that I did implement based off of the last time I was here. There was discussion to have the non-wellness folks have a little more, I guess, skin in the game, if you will. So proposal number 3 is like on the pharmacy, it's a bridge between proposal number 1. Their wellness, you'll see no changes in proposal number 1 and proposal number 3. The differences between those 2 is in the non-wellness category, which involves premium, deductible, and max out of pocket. You'll see increases there in proposal number 3. Proposal number 2, that is the one that Houchins is recommended. It is obviously the, you know, from a financial standpoint, it's the biggest bang for the buck. However, you're talking more than doubling deductibles and max out of pockets in some situations there. So I don't think we're ready to do that, but I did throw it in as a proposal because that's what they were recommending for the plan. Proposal number 1, that's probably the weakest changes in there. There are small steps, increases to, you know, premiums, deductibles, max out of pockets. And then proposal number 3 is more that middle ground, if you will. So,
And again, to set the table for this discussion a little bit, some of this has to do with wellness versus non-wellness. And the difficulty to achieve a wellness status is pretty low. The bar is pretty low. You go to your
4 quarterly wellness goal checks.
and you don't even have to go to those if you are healthy and you pass all 5.
Yeah, if you hit 5 to 5 on the screen the year before, you don't even have to do that.
So the healthiest of our employees wouldn't even need to do the screening. They would go to, the quarterlies. You would go to your one time a year, get your blood drawn, get your biometrics. And if you fail, then there are alternatives that you would take part in. So we're asking the employees to take some responsibility for their own health, right?
To be
Take some steps.
Yep.
And if they do those, then they would get the best rate. They get
The best premium, best deductible, max out.
So it's, because I looked at it again, I'm like, is it really hard for people to do this? Is it really hard to get on the wellness? Like we talked at the last meeting, it's pretty minimal. It's not like you gotta get up at 5 a.m., we're doing calisthenics and we're gonna get people doing things. So I think it's not unreasonable that we should have 100% of our staff on wellness. So as I was looking at this, I tried to make non-wellness a little more painful, for lack of better terms, right? I want to do what we can to encourage people to be healthy so that it doesn't cost the plan as much and that they're healthier.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to start with that.
You can even use a doctor's appointment that you go to for a physical every
Oh,
year.
correct.
Wellness
Yeah,
as
yeah.
well.
And actually,
That's a little easier.
that one's probably better because you're gonna get a lot more thorough healthcare.
Blood tests and everything else.
Correct, and if there is an issue, you're gonna be there with the physician, they're gonna get a prescription
Right,
for
and
what ails
most,
you.
well, I'm not gonna say most people, or half, people do their wellness checks with their doctor, with their yearly labs and everything else, and that counts for that, so that's convenient also.
One question I have, and maybe you'll have input on this.
Okay.
So when we look at employee and spouse, I assume that's gonna be 2 adults.
Yep.
And then the next category is employee and children. That could be an adult, 1 child.
One child.
And 6 children.
Correct.
Right, it could be any number. So why is there with each of these plans, why is the employee and children a less expensive option than employee and spouse? When you could be covering more humans.
Because your spouse is gonna drive more healthcare spend.
More so than 4 children?
Correct.
Really?
Yep.
Well,
Historically.
you could change that to employee and child, 1 child.
Well,
And a family could be multiple children. That could be an option.
That seems sensible.
That could be, you could go to 5 tiers.
Well, your family could be 3 people, it could be,
Correct.
husband, spouse, or
Right.
Right,
spouse
family would be.
and 1 child, and family could be,
11.
it could be 11, but it could be,
3.
employee and children could equal same as family, is what I'm getting at. You could have 5 kids and be a
Yeah.
single parent and have 6 people on the plan, or you could be a family and have 3 people on the plan. So you're gonna pay $45 more for the family tier than you would for the employee and children tier.
I guess what I was looking at is when it was employee and spouse, I would just think employee and spouse and employee and children should be the same price.
And I think I get that, and insurance all based on historical. But I mean, me at 50 years old, I'm probably gonna see the doctor and have a lot more issues than my 16-year-old son.
Yeah.
I just wouldn't have had more tiers.
No,
It's hard
right.
enough to-
No, I agree.
Right, there would still be under, I guess, your proposal or your thought was it could be employee and child or yours, and then other than 1 child would be family.
Okay.
Right, so there's still four
Right.
levels. Or we leave it as it is, and I guess my thoughts were, let's just take this from the top down, if that's okay with the board.
Sure.
Look at wellness premiums monthly. I looked at all 3 of these plans. My goal was to keep a single employee. My goal is to keep the employee insured and make it very attractive for them. So if we have an individual who's an employee, and say they're single, keep that deductible or that premium, all of it very cheap. So I'm happy with keeping that one at $40. And then my thoughts were make employee and spouse, employee and children, make both of those match at $90 and have family at $125. So it's a little more than the minimal change, but considerably less than what Houchins is coming up with. I thought it just kind of made sense and maybe it's easier to track to keep the employee and spouse, employee, children at the same rate. So I was thinking 40, 90, 90.
So would you not just remove that tier, one of
I was
those
gonna
tiers?
say, that
Just
one
make it
probably-
employee plus one? Or employee, well, I guess if it's more than one child,
Yeah, I guess we'd still go four tiers, I guess, to keep it.
yeah.
Do we want to change it to employee and child, or do we want to keep it as children?
I would recommend going that route.
Which route?
Just employee child, I think I would keep employee children and then family.
And again, the only issue I have is that, you know, you might have 3 people on it, on a family that are paying, you know, $45 more than somebody that's got 6 on it. You know, you don't know.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Trying to keep it as fair as possible.
Well, you could cap the employee and children at a certain number.
Yeah.
Then you have to go to family to go over that. That's the only way you can stop it.
That's true.
Then the employee will say, "You're punishing me because I have 3 kids instead of 2."
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Or something.
Well, I'm getting punished because I am married instead of being divorced and a single parent. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Anybody can find a way to justify their means.
So you're saying keep it as children or move it to child is your thought?
I'm good with this.
Okay. Commissioner Stefano?
I'm good with this.
So what did you think about my numbers? 40, 90, 90, 125?
I'm okay with that.
For example, for the employee only, that's only $1.70 for more than they're paying
Yeah,
now.
right.
A month.
Right,
So
right.
so it's not a huge amount, but it's something, right?
Right.
We're getting a little more skin in the game from the employee, but it's not huge.
And you're on the wellness only.
Yeah, we're just on the
Yes.
first portion.
So employee spouse and employee children, same premium.
Yes. Do you disagree that, so we got the board's opinion, what's your opinion?
I like having the differentials and premiums, but I mean.
For what
it's-
reason?
I just looked at the historical data, but I get it, you know, like you said, if you've got one child, you know, it's, yeah, I mean, so, I mean, I don't think it's wrong, it's just,
And again, it's $10, right? And it keeps it easy to remember. Okay, so I think we've got an idea there, at least a preliminary idea. So under non-wellness, on proposal 3, I think that I was fine with the numbers that were presented there.
So it's double, employee and children, would you match that there? Might as well.
What do you
I was gonna say, I would
I
match it to 180, yeah, because if you're gonna do it on the wellness, I think you got to go to 180.
agree there.
That sounds fine. So change that one to 180 and
I
250.
don't know that I agree it should be double for non-wellness. But
But again, I
know the bar's not very high, but at the same time, it is just, it's a kind of fictionary line. Like, oh, if you go to these 4 visits and get blood draw once a year, we'll half your, but they're not a healthier population. They're just jumping through some hoops that we put up artificially to charge double.
But I think like at the argument that we made, we take it seriously. If my blood pressure was higher, I take action. If I didn't go to those things, I would have known, I would have taken action. So I think for some of our population, I think it helps. And hopefully, we get one of these unhealthy people that doesn't really care to jump in the hoops. They say, oh, my blood pressure is that high. I think maybe.
I just think double's a little excessive.
I think ideally, you know, with this clinic discussion, if we decide to go down the clinic route and we're able to put a hybrid wellness plan inside there, I think that would be, of course, right now, I don't know what that's gonna look like.
Too bad we don't
but-
have that or an
How much are
hourglass
we
to look
paying?
through.
To have somebody come in quarterly and do all this, provide these hoops to jump through.
But on top of the stuff that people meet with her, she also tracks all of this for us.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, she does.
She's our software in a way.
Yeah, so like in next year when we start talking about open enrollment, she's got all the data to dictate who's wellness and non-wellness because she's kind of the record keeper there too. So
Right. But again, how much does that cost us if we remove the and I'm not suggesting we remove it, but if we remove the non-wellness tier altogether and just put it all back into, one tier.
One major tier.
And remove that cost that we're paying somebody else, is it really gonna affect our overall dollars and cents? You know what I'm saying? Rather than charging the people more that are non-wellness, what if we just cut out the wellness part of it and we don't pay Memorial X number of dollars to come in here and tell us we need to drink more water and smaller portion sizes? I'm just, we're charging double premium.
What are your thoughts?
I'm kind of with Nick, that double. I don't know if that.
It's just our way of encouraging, if we're gonna have a
I
bonus at
know,
all,
I
it's a way to
understand what you're
encourage
saying,
you.
but too bad we don't have the clinic in place to where.
And how many people is it?
And non-wellness,
people.
there's not very many. Like now given all new hires, they come in as non-wellness and then they earn to get wellness the following year. But as a whole, like people that's going wellness to non-wellness every year just because they don't want to do the screen, you're talking 10, 15, maybe 20 tops people, employees.
So if we had 20 of them and they're all paying double, does that put more dollars in our pockets than what we pay out to go through the hoops?
In premiums for those non-wellness people?
Do the premiums for the non-wellness people pay for?
If they were all family and there was 20 of them at $125, I'm trying to be.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah.
Does it pay to measure all that?
I guess too, what I would think though, that the idea is, if you catch one person with bad blood pressure or heart problem or something within that, they will get treated before.
You prevent a stroke.
Right, you prevent a stroke.
I think the other thing is the folks that's in the non-wellness, they're also not getting the blood draws or anything, so they're really walking, it could be a walking time bomb.
Even if you pulled back the quarterlies and just had
The health screen
the
itself.
health screens. And that's your difference, wellness and non-wellness. I still don't like the double part though.
I like the idea that if you do the wellness and you fail certain categories and you do anti-smoking, right? That's the thing that you do. It took me probably more than 5 times before I could quit tobacco whenever I quit. So if it comes up every year, maybe eventually we get somebody to quit tobacco. So we keep giving them opportunities to be healthier.
So we're not allowed to have a tobacco and non-tobacco rate. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, because that makes a lot more sense than the wellness non-wellness.
Well, I'm saying that now, we can, but it's not how do you want to say this? You got to give the discount to the non-smokers.
Right.
And we decided we were not going to do that just because that would add another category for, the payroll side of things. We would have, wellness and non-wellness plus wellness, smoking, non-smoking, and it'd be a lot of premiums to run around the track.
I again think
It's $2,500, by the way. $2,500, and we pay Memorial $15,000 a year. Last I checked, it might be more than that.
It's right around that plus the cost of the annual health screen.
Right. So the annual health screen, leave that out. It's the 4
It's
quarterly checkups.
it's between 12 and 1,500. Yeah, in the cost.
So by not doubling the premium and removing those quarterly visits, we would save $10,000 to $15,000 versus paying that and charging an extra.
But then we still we had to pay somebody else to track the wellness.
Correct. Yeah, because whatever we decide to do.
But the wellness would be a lot easier to track if all you had to track was whether or not you did your annual screen.
Yeah.
I guess the argument.
Would we go back to just do it? Because when I got here, it was, we just had to do the screen, that was it.
And I think the plans for wellness were a lot different than how everything kind of ended up. I mean, yeah, I was on that committee for years.
Yeah.
And I think we had an idea of, actually making everyone a little healthier and providing some different benefits for different things that we're not allowed to do. So it became screenings and quarterly visits. And I don't I don't get any value out of the quarterly visit. I'm happy some of you guys do. I tend to believe there's probably more me's out there than you's. That's just my opinion. And, you know, these, again, the double premium for the non-wellness people nets us $2,500, and we're paying a lot more than that to implement the program. And if we're actually trying to save money, it makes more sense to do away with the program and save the money.
I guess I'm looking at it, the idea is to improve health, and the secondary goal is the saving the money.
I know what the idea is, but it's not working, my thought. I don't think it's improving health, it's a check mark. Go do your quarterly, you get weighed, you do your blood pressure, gives you a couple of tips on being healthier, and you walk out and you half my premium. And I just think it's a hoop we gotta jump through. I get it, it's relatively easy, but I don't think it's moving the needle.
I mean, even with and we discussed what the wellness plan looks like for next year, I mean, we can certainly change it, you know, to go away from, remove the quarterlies and put something else in place, you know, we can certainly do that.
That's part of what you're having the discussion.
You're right, yeah.
Deaconess.
Yeah. And unfortunately, we're not there today of what that looks like. Unfortunately, I can't share that because I don't have it, but, or if it's even gonna be feasible, so.
I think the feeling that you're having, like Houchin had $110 for a non-wellness employee, that I felt was a step too far. That's what
I was gonna say,
$80 seemed reasonable.
I was gonna say, in comparison to even what you're recommending, that's still less than what Houchins is recommending as their proposal.
Yeah.
Because they were coming in higher than that.
I think they want to treat us like private business.
Well, yeah, and well, I think their idea is we want cost savings, and they're gonna try to get us the cost savings but they're not looking at the employee impact. You know, they're looking at their goal of running a healthcare plan, and unfortunately it's more than that when you're dealing with people and lives and families and, you know, trying to put food on the table and pay bills, so.
Well, Commissioner Stefano, I think the two of Commissioner Hostetter and I talked more than you have.
I'm just taking it all in. I mean, you guys historically know that, you know, what your insurance plans have been in the past and stuff like that. I mean, I'm kind of new to this a little bit, but I tend to agree with Nick about the non-wellness a little bit.
Would you feel better if it was the numbers that are already on proposal 3, the 80, 70, or 80, I guess 80, 80, 115, is that?
I think the reason non-wellness is higher is you want to guide people to do the wellness.
I know.
Right, he said
But
there's no value in it.
They're not gonna do it, they're not gonna do it. I mean.
Well, it's kind of like we go back to
Well, I think that
pharmacy, if they're not gonna do our spec, they're not gonna do it.
Well, yeah, but I also think, you know, if we totally just throw out the fact that, hey, we're no longer doing non-wellness, a lot of your wellness people that are actually doing it, they're gonna be like, heck with it, I'm gonna be unhealthy now too, you
We're
know?
not gonna double their premiums because they don't do RX Protect. We're doubling the premiums on these people, I just don't think it's fair. I think maybe a 50% higher, if we did 50, 112.50 and 156.25, that's 50% higher than what we're proposing for the wellness premiums. I think that's a little more fair. They're still paying more, but it's a little more fair than asking them to pay double the premium.
And they're not actually going double from where they are currently. You're just saying it's double from
What you're proposing.
the proposed wellness.
Right.
So yeah, I guess we're at a place where we have difference of opinion. I think that I want to push everybody towards the wellness. I find value in it, and you guys don't find the same value in it. So not that one of us is right or wrong necessarily. You just have to have a vote on it, I guess. So do the two of you have an alternative to the 80, 180, 180, 250? What is, and if so, what is it?
I'm sorry, I've got, granted, I'm looking back at current, and if we did 50% higher than, well, because we didn't change our current, we went to $40, 50% higher. I'm comparing 3 and
Okay.
current.
Okay. Make sure we're on the same page.
So that would give us non-wellness rates of 50, 112.50, and 156.25. Now that 50 is lower than we're currently at, so I would suggest we just bump that to 55. So it's not lower,
I mean, I think we're trying to go whole numbers too.
or even 60. So,
You're saying employee only at $55?
and if you want to do whole numbers, let's do 115. We'll just round it up.
Are you on the wellness or the
160.
non-wellness?
Right now I'm on non-wellness.
I think I recommend at least going to 60 because at that point you're rewarding the non-wellness, you're costing the wellness more than you're doing
So
the non-wellness.
60, 115, and 160.
And then what about family?
You said 60, 150?
115, 115, and 160. Yeah, because the two are equal.
In the last family.
Family 160.
Again, though, even looking at your current family plan versus the proposal, your wellness people is taking a bigger hit than what your non-wellness people's taking. So again,
I see that when you work with big numbers, 50% higher than 155.78 is going to be a lot less than 50% higher than 109.54. And that gap is going to continue to widen as long as we use percentages. If we bumped everybody up to $20, then the percentage changes, but it's fair across all levels. Or if you use percentages, that non-wellness premiums are just going to continue to widen the gap between the wellness and the non-wellness. And the wellness deductible versus non-wellness, I know I'm getting ahead of myself here, but I mean, all of that, we're really punishing these non-wellness people.
And again, that was my idea.
yeah, that's why I thought that was the business plan, but
Normally what you want to do is make them.
If those non-wellness, if we were doing something to actually move the needle, but we're literally asking, go get your blood drawn and then 4 quarterly visits. And I know it's relatively easy, but they're not healthier. They're just jumping through some hoops.
I would argue that's very much, you got a very much better chance of having good health if you get blood work once a year. And you can see.
Right, and
how
I'm suggesting that we keep the wellness and we keep the gap, but we only ask for the blood work. We quit asking for the quarterly. We remove the management portion of it that costs us, $15,000 to $20,000 a year.
And why even bother?
So with that then, on non-wellness, why wouldn't we make non-wellness 20 times more expensive? And really encourage them, go get a damn blood test. You know what I'm saying? Then would you be okay with it being more expensive?
Well, we're still, like I said, I still think we should go get a blood test, and it should be a little more expensive, but we're asking for double. What if we have an employee who, I'm gonna go to this quarterly visit, and this is the last one I can get in this quarter, and then they slip and break a leg, and they miss their quarterly visit. Hey, now it's gonna cost you
But I'm saying,
X number
you have
$1,000.
3 chances to get to it, why wait? I go every month.
Okay. But you do, but not everybody does.
where there's folks too, we got it where if you're on FMLA or something, you get you get free pass kind of deal too. That's built in.
That's my big issue is that we're doubling it. We took the wellness deductible up $250. We took the non-wellness up $500. We took the wellness max out of pocket up $250. We took the family up, and we took the non-wellness up $1,000. I don't understand why we want to punish so bad these non-wellness people when we don't.
Well, I wouldn't look at it as a punishment, I would look at it as a reward to the people who do participate.
Because it is a voluntary thing.
Because they're taking their time to actually do it, where others they don't want to do it.
I know when I started here in 2019, there was like no differences between wellness and non-wellness. It was
Right.
like, so you basically, you had a plan, but you didn't have a plan because it wasn't even feasible to even have one. So if there's no gap, it's not even feasible to have a wellness and non-wellness because you're not making it feasible to make it worth joining one or the other. So
Well, I could see one being 50% higher than the other, but I just, we're making bigger jumps for non-wellness than we are for wellness. And I mean, if I look at our current and I go over, you know, what I would make it at now, I would probably go from our current to the wellness premiums monthly that we suggested earlier. And then I'd do the same across the board, but I'd just make non-wellness like 50% higher, not double.
Because if we got rid of the wellness program totally, you'd
I'm
probably
not
want those higher deductibles.
I'm not suggesting that.
No, but I mean, if you didn't, you'd want those premiums higher.
So you're saying again, that 50% higher is more palatable, so if we went with $90 for an employee and spouse, then employee and spouse for non-wellness would be
We rounded, but we did 160, 150.
135?
Be $45 more.
Right, $45 more, so it'd be 135, not 115.
Did I do my math wrong on that one?
I don't know what your intent was, I'm just,
What was my math on that?
so you added $25.
Oh, I did 40.
So if we want, I mean, I'd be happier with the 145 than the 115, and that gets it down from the 180 that I suggested initially.
and then what about the family? Do we, it'd be 125, 50% of that?
I don't know what that number would be, is that what you're doing now? They're doing straws and that stuff outside.
Oh.
Probably around 185, if I was doing it in my head.
Yeah, $180 somewhere in that range, probably.
Probably if I'm just doing it, looking at it, do it in my head. Gotta be close.
Is that an in-between point that we can come to?
No, I did 25% higher, I'm sorry.
Okay.
So I was looking at not 50, but 25% higher than what our current is. Or than what our proposal in
Number 3.
wellness was.
So would you be okay with 60, 145, 145, and 180? Or do you like
Again, we're asking our employee plus spouse to go up $16.36 to the new rate. And then employee plus spouse on the non-wellness side, we're asking to go up, you know, like 60. So $16 versus 60.
employee plus children would be 45 plus 8 if you want, what do you say, 50? Yeah, close to $60, right? So how about this, the family is the 180, good for you?
Family? No, I like I said, I would suggest 60, 115, 115, and 160. That's 25%
Okay, so
higher than the wellness. I'm sorry, I said 50, it's 25. Not 100% higher, which was the original suggestion.
Right.
The non-wellness employee is, well, that's it.
Non-wellness still, when you add the premium plus the deductible plus the max out of pocket, it's still gonna take a much larger hit than the wellness. But I don't just wanna like throw the book at them because they didn't go to the quarterly visit. And again, we pay a lot of money to have those quarterly visits managed, and I just don't see that value.
Well, we can maybe change it to they have to go every month.
I think you'd like that even
Make it
less.
harder. Yeah.
Well,
would
I
like
mean-
that less.
Yeah, I mean, it is an incentive, but, you know.
All right, you've heard us talk, do you have a suggestion, or do you want to give one?
I was leaning more on proposal number 3. That's where I was kind of leaning toward.
As originally written?
But we discussed a change in employee spouse and employee children to the same rate, so, I guess I missed it all, because I think they need to have some skin in the game on the wellness versus non-wellness. And we're trying to control runaway cost, and I just don't know if it's incentivizing.
But do you think it's working? Is it helping control runaway costs?
Well, I mean, the runaway cost is, like I said, I gave you that paper,
If we're trying to control runaway costs, then we're gonna cut off specialty drugs, and we're gonna do a lot of things that hurt really bad.
I just think you're gonna be back here at this same conversation with 5 million plus spend next year.
Because it's heading there.
Because it's heading there, and if we're not doing a lot of.
Well, I guess my suggestion would be, if we're gonna bump the non-wellness so much, we need to bump the wellness as well, and not spread that gap wider and wider and wider between the wellness and non-wellness, unless we have something that's actually moving the needle on the wellness side of it. Because we really don't. It's not.
I don't think you're ever gonna have any kind of permanent number on.
It's hard to track an ROI on a wellness program. It's really hard to track that.
I mean, even what we pay for the wellness, in the grand scheme of things, it's not that much. What we pay to manage it.
But our goal is to just get people to do something, and a blood test and a couple visits, I think is something.
Well, we also do the lunch and learn.
Lunch and learn.
We tried doing let's walk after work, the people that participate.
We had that summer challenge there. They did the walkings, setting physical activity challenge. We did that for the summer.
That's 50 lives to participate.
Okay, so again, we started with a proposal and it had certain numbers. I made a suggestion, Commissioner Hofstadter made a suggestion. I guess, again, I'm just trying to think here. So you were at 60, 115, 115, and did you say 180?
160.
160.
So for a family, we're just kind of rounding up to the nearest $10 from current. Same way with employee only.
Based off what we're talking about now, I almost think maybe you look at proposal number 1. If we're talking about doing very, very bare minimum, that's kind of what proposal number 1 is. And then if you want to make some tweaks to make employee spouse, employee children the same, we could do that. But that proposal there is the bare minimum. Was proposal number 1.
It's pretty close to it, isn't it?
And it's gonna get you close to what you guys are kind of talking about. So that might be what you want to look at if that's where we're leaning.
Just the bottom parts are.
Well, I can't say we've come to an impasse. I think I feel differently than it sounds like the two of you do, so we're gonna go your way. That's how that works.
Well, I like proposal 1, but I would go with the monthly premiums that you had suggested, and I would go with the monthly premiums on non-wellness that I suggested.
So 40, 90, 90, 125 for wellness.
Yes.
For non-wellness, use your numbers or the numbers that are on here?
60, 115, 115, 160.
All right, wellness deductible, I'm satisfied with both of those.
I have a question. So the prescription deductible will be 3,000 and 6,000,
Yes,
but the medical will be different.
it always has been,
Those are two different.
always has
I
been.
just wanna make sure I'm,
So am I right that you both are okay with the 750, 1250?
Correct.
Yes.
Non-wellness deductible, so my suggestion was gonna be to make those 2 and 3.
Okay, and I just want to point out that if we raise the wellness deductible from our current to what it is, let's see. Wellness deductible, sorry, I'm trying to find my current sheet here. Versus proposal 1. So wellness deductible went up 250 on individual and 500 on family. And on non-wellness, it went up 500 and 1,000. And that would make it, basically my numbers came out to 1,250 and 2,000 on the non-wellness, but I think I could probably get behind these.
Okay, be fine with that, what about you,
Be fine with
Commissioner Stefano?
Yes. Okay with that.
Wellness max out of pocket. My suggestion there would be 3,500 for the family, keep the individual at 1,500. Again, people that use more, pay a little more.
Wait, where are we at, wellness?
Wellness max out of
Wellness
pocket,
pocket.
Okay, you had 1,500 and 3,000, what was your suggestion?
3,500 for the family. Again, these aren't gonna make humongous changes, but like I told a couple department heads, it's like either we take a little bit of bite around a bunch of things, or we can do one huge thing. And that's, like you said, that specialty drug could be one of those things. That will do more than all of these little nips
Right.
do.
Right.
Thoughts on that one?
I think I could get behind that.
Okay? Mr. Stefano?
Yes.
Okay? And then non-wellness, they have 2,500 and 5,000. My suggestion originally was gonna be 6,000 for the family for that one, but I think you guys are probably not in favor of that.
No. Again, if we raised for our current,
This one there.
the same as we did for non-wellness, or for wellness, those numbers would be 2,250 and 4,000, but I can get behind that.
25 and 5?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we are still giving a little more to the wellness.
so you're on proposal 1 then?
We kind of moved back to that sheet because some of it, I can give you a copy of what I wrote down here. You want me to start from the top, Mr. Rose, or you think?
Yeah, if you don't care, just, where I make sure I got.
And you guys keep an eye on me too. Here we go. We'll start at the top. Wellness premiums monthly, 40, 90, 90, 125. Non-wellness, 60, 115, 115, 160. We good, Mr. Rose? Wellness deductible, 750, 1250. Non-wellness, 1,500, 2,500. Wellness max out of pocket, 1,500 and 3,500. And then non-wellness max out of pocket, 2,500, 5,000. Got it?
Got
it. Is that what we're doing?
Yes.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we approve the figures, that we just mentioned for the health plan for 2026.
I'll second.
Any other discussion? Anything else for you, Mr. Rose, on that?
That's it for me. I'll try to get back on wellness next time.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed, same sign, that motion carries. So before you go, though, please, so our expert tech, you said that's not something we can force. We can't say that if you are on one of these,
Oh, sorry.
I don't know what end roll sure click is, let's say I'm on it.
Yep.
We can't tell the employee, we're not denying the drug, but you have to go this route. We can't do that.
No.
They have to be able to go anywhere that they'd like.
Yep.
The benefit with this is you pay 0 instead of paying whatever.
You the co-pays and the stuff involved.
The thing we just talked about.
Right.
Yep. So a couple other items that we did talk about healthcare wise, and I don't know if you're prepared to speak on these, but we were talking about wellness requirement for spouses, so are we doing that?
I'm gonna propose that again during the wellness center,
During wellness
because
discussion?
because that will be part of wellness if we go down that road,
So we want to give him any feedback on that so that he doesn't waste his time? I think what that would mean is if you're a married person, your spouse has to come in and at least get the blood draw.
Yeah, that's what, that would be the requirement, would be blood draw.
No quarterly for the spouse.
No, or just blood
Okay.
draw only.
They can get that from their family.
And they can get that from their primary care or
Okay.
through the clinic, through the June sessions, whatever that might look like,
Yes.
you know.
The spouse would get it at no cost if they go
Correct.
with us,
Correct.
or whatever their regular cost is for their provider.
Yep.
Okay. Next, the department, you turned in, you gave us one of these, it said it kind of changed it to preliminary 2026 employee.
Okay, yeah.
I was just gonna ask, this programming that's listed here, is that still, these are still kind of things?
That's gonna be like the lunch and learns.
So it gives people an opportunity if they want to come and learn about whatever those.
Yeah, we
topics are.
have various topics. Yep.
And the board, the wellness committee, whatever, kind of helps develop what those
Yes.
are. Okay? With these, I was looking at this, the claims over spec, so that would be considered our lasers, right? Is that what this is?
No, that's your
Or is-
people that are over 80.
Or is this just pharmacy? I'm trying to figure out what.
Some of them's gonna be lasers.
Right, but they're your high.
That's your high claimants though, yeah, basically.
They're getting up over $80,000.
It's a combination of medical and RX. It's not one or the other.
Correct.
So if, like this one person I looked up, I don't know what some of these things even mean, but it was somebody that had a failed back surgery. The amount that it cost was close to $300,000. What do you do? I mean, I don't think there's anything we're gonna be able to do with that.
Yeah.
I mean, talking about where the expenses come from. If
10%
we have
of your claims come from, 90% of your claims come from 10% of your people.
a person's spouse is on the plan, they get bad back, they get surgery, makes their back worse, we're on the hook for those.
I had a question about the spouse of the secondary, secondary insurance. I thought we were gonna have some numbers on that.
I can get those.
Okay.
Yeah, I do not have those with me.
I mean, if it's a drop in the bucket, I know it's important to some people, but at the same time, if we're asking our employees to pay a lot more and have, we're really here to benefit the employee and not necessarily, I mean, their spouse is included on the plan, but if they've got their own plan, I feel like that secondary, if we have, it just really bothers me that sometimes our plan pays first. And if our max out of pocket's, $5,000 and their max out of pocket on the other is, higher, we're gonna pay that difference too. And if it's costing us $8,000 to $10,000 for 5 or 10 people, that adds up. And I don't think it's fair to ask our employees to pay a higher premium so that somebody else can have it as secondary.
But I think, like one of the employees commented was, well, my spouse quit working then, or my spouse will go from 35 hours to 29 hours. I think that'll happen in some cases.
Maybe in some cases it would.
I know I have.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying that people will gain it for the personal benefit, which is natural.
I know I've had a lot
How
of.
good are our benefits if you would prefer to quit your job and quit earning money to have our insurance?
Yeah.
I know I had a lot of people.
I only have
Reach
one
out.
reach out. I only have one reach out, and I understand his concern. I don't know how many of them there are, but that person had said it would cost $8,000 to $10,000 more for their family. And I'm like, kind of the inverse of that. We're paying $8,000 to $10,000 for somebody that already has insurance.
That doesn't work for us.
That doesn't work for us.
Yeah.
And that part kind of bothers me, and especially if there's 50 of them, well, that's a big chunk of change. I don't know. I don't have any numbers. And like I said, I'm not gonna propose that we do away with it if there's 2 or 3 people that do it. If there's 50 of them, it's different. What's it really costing us?
And you think you can give him a little
I can
more?
get that, yeah.
That's what I'd like to know.
All right, before you run to, I think I may have, maybe another one here. So, talk about wellness. Will we require spouses? We did that. The clinic, you're gonna know more about that in the future. Care Connect, has that started?
That'll start January.
Okay.
Yep.
Some.
Remind me, open enrollment again, November,
It'll be November time. I mean, we've not set dates yet, but it'll be November.
but it won't take an effect until January.
Correct.
Okay.
And the, kind of to that thing he was talking about, there was the discussion previously about a spousal surcharge, but that was, your take was that wasn't the right way to go about it.
Right. Yeah, I mean, at that point, I think if you wanted to go that route, I would recommend throwing it into premiums. You know.
Right, I got it. Another employee made the suggestions of, when they're, because if I was an employee, I'd be worried too, that if my pay is gonna go up $1,000 next year and my insurance benefits are gonna go up, or costs are gonna go up $600, that, I understand where that bothers people. And I asked for suggestions of what other options were, and one suggestion was a better wellness plan, asking for, but again, does that move the needle, or are people gonna be as healthy as they wanna be?
Right.
So I don't know about that. More education on smart healthcare choices, that goes back to the same one as number one. We all know, if you put corn dogs and ranch dressing on, in your mouth, that's worse for you than putting broccoli and.
Right.
So it's still up to us to make those decisions. So encourage preventative care, wellness visits, health doc, family doctors. So that's something that you mentioned at most of our,
I would encourage this type of person to join the wellness committee if they're not on it.
They probably are. And so the last thing that they had, and this is something again to bring up for the board's consideration. Plan choices, negotiating with other providers and insurers. They said that the Patoka Valley plan is narrow when it comes to choosing care and providing providers. So on one hand, I think you said that we get the best value from the place where most people go by doing what we do.
Yeah.
We get deep discounts
Deep discounts.
by going there.
But if if you're an employee that doesn't want to go there, then you don't get to the deal. So do you think there's anything that we should do there in that?
In the short term, no. The long term, you could always look at your options, but I think one of them deals where you're either in the Patoka Valley network or you're not. I think one of them deals where we could say, well, you're in the Patoka Valley network. If you want to go here, it's going to be cheaper. But if you want to go to Evansville, you can go to Evansville or Louisville. That's really not. That's not really the way it is. I'm not even for sure. That's something I'd have to look at get with Patoka Valley on for is like, I don't know what their contract looks like. I don't know if we could have a Patoka Valley insurance and a, Anthem or.
Or two networks, in other words.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna ask. Is that even a possibility?
I don't know, because I don't know what their contract is. If we're in Patoka Valley, all of our employees gotta be Patoka Valley. I don't know what the parameters of that looks like.
I would guess they would give us that because the reason they want to give us a discount is they're gonna get all the business.
Yeah.
They won't say, hey, go wherever you want.
Yeah, I don't think that would be a possibility, but I can certainly ask and look into it. But,
Can we explore other options?
yeah, I mean, we could certainly look at other options,
I would be open to.
I mean, you can certainly go join an Anthem plan. There's nothing says we gotta stay with Patoka Valley, but, your 4 or 5 million is probably gonna be, 6 million.
I mean, they're
6.5 million.
57%.
A majority of people probably gonna go here anyway, the local network, but,
Well, you've got Memorial that's
local hospital.
/ Memorial Deaconess now too.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
We have to think about that as well.
Yeah, I don't know that, initial discussions with them when all this was going on, they were still gonna keep them separate for Deaconess from Memorial separate when it pertains to Patoka Valley. Will that open up a year from now, 2 years from now, they decide to open it up to go to Evansville? I don't know, Last communication I had, they were still gonna restrict it, keep it just a local hospital, but.
Okay, 2 more things. Sorry, and then we'll let you get running here. Another thing that people have been concerned about was the ER visit rule. We considered paying $250, $200, whatever, some amount on if you go there. Do we want to discuss that? Is that an option we want to look at?
I found maybe I wouldn't say loophole, but I went to urgent care last Saturday. I went in, they took my vitals and said, we can't help you here. We need you to go to the emergency room. There will be no charge for your urgent care visit. So I tried, but I guarantee you I got charged for an emergency room visit and not an urgent care visit. So how does that work? They steered me there.
They did send them grants, so they couldn't use stitches, they're supposed to.
No.
Yeah. So
There is a thing.
I don't know if my visit would be deemed emergency necessary, so therefore I wouldn't be charged. But I'd be pretty upset if I had to pay $250 when I tried to go to urgent care. And I don't know if we can go to the Mercy urgent care.
Yes, we can.
Okay, because I was like, I don't know if I can go to that one, if it'll be covered, because I thought about, instead of going to the emergency room, going to Mercy and seeing what they told me. But ultimately, I ended up at the emergency room, and
Sometimes when you go to the emergency room, they code you a certain way and you pay urgent care pricing. The other times you pay emergency room price, so I don't know how that works.
I was gonna say, talking about the $250, we voted that we were gonna do that in 2026, so if we're not going to, then we'd have to rescind.
Didn't I didn't remember that you'd already made that clear, so if that's.
Yeah,
so I might get charged.
yeah.
And again, I'll be a little upset because I didn't want to go there. You know, it was,
I guarantee you got charged.
I didn't go there because
For sure you did.
that was the easy way out, and I'll just save myself a trip to Huntingburg and let the county taxpayer pay them, you know.
Now, if
So
you,
instead, now you're getting charged
if you
twice.
would have been
You know.
admitted, is that a
But if you're admitted, the $250 goes away. You
It'd be
know,
pretty rare to get admitted.
Sometimes you do.
Okay.
Well, but at the same time, I mean, if you could probably chop your finger off, go in and get your finger restitched, and they're not gonna admit you.
Yeah, I'll bet you.
But it was definitely an emergency room necessary visit.
Now, I did pull some data on ER visits, so
Yeah.
in a 6-month period, from November 24 to April 2025, we were charged $300,000 in cost for ER visits, and we had 44
visits.
in a 6-month period. So I guess if you annualize that, you're looking at 88, 90, you know, for roughly $600,000 cost.
Jeez, how much is that?
Kind of goes
That's what I
back
was
to
gonna
the
do.
standalone clinic that we're talking about.
600,000, 44.
You know, that kind of goes back to that and what they can do, but they can't.
You're right. Yeah, I'd say
Hours.
Oh, wait a minute.
yes.
I thought
It will be 40 hours Monday through
I
Friday.
mean, if you look at the other locations that they listed
Yes.
on here and the hours,
So again, for the,
Almost $7,000
I mean, that's not gonna
visit.
benefit.
No, you're still gonna probably
They're
go
closed
to-
at 4 or 5 o'clock or not even open some days during the week.
Yes.
It's not gonna benefit.
You're still gonna go to ER. for
Exactly.
Probably what you're going to ER.
It's not gonna help us.
I mean, I'm not gonna not go to the ER because it's gonna cost me $250.
Yeah.
You know, you got an emergency room visit and you need to go, you're gonna go.
Yeah.
Right.
But I wouldn't have on Saturday had they not sent me that direction.
and so that math says $6,800 to go per visit on average, $6,800.
Oh,
So
okay.
for us
Okay,
to say-
yeah. Okay.
You're gonna
Cost
pay
you
$250 towards your max out of pocket, right? It's not just like, it's not $250 extra. It goes through the max that you're gonna go out for your healthcare for the year anyway. I don't feel bad about that. I mean, if I have to go, I'm gonna go. I don't like paying $250.
I agree, I think it's fair. I think I'm more commenting on the urgent care sending me there, like,
Yeah.
I don't think that part's fair.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay,
Well,
thank you
I
for
think
that.
that's another thing that people argue with the Topa Valley Network too, you know, nothing against the local services, but your example alone, now you've got, not only you, but the health plans now will get charged for urgent care plus an ER visit.
no, he said there'd be no charge
Oh, he
for
did?
the urgent care,
Oh, okay.
so
Okay. We'll see.
fair enough,
We'll see.
but yeah.
But, you know, if you gotta go to the same doctor and try and get something fixed 2 or 3 times, am I really saving the money? Or, you know, not, if I could go to the outside provider and get it done, you know, so.
Okay, my final point, that's when I promised, final health insurance point. The idea of no health insurance for any part-time employees or elected officials. So I talked to Marky about it. That would impact 7 council people, 3 commissioners, surveyor, coroner, 12 people.
Pretty well, that would probably be.
We didn't think of any other people.
Yeah.
So there's been a local case, Perry County?
Perry County. Yep.
Perry County, where the council person, they took away trying to do cost savings, they took it away, and he sued them, saying, I'm an official, I deserve to get the insurance. It went to court, and that guy lost. So it is something that can be done. And I wouldn't want to take it away from anybody that's currently elected, because I don't think that's fair to say, you were elected, you were under the understanding that these were gonna be your benefits. But I do think it's something we could consider doing for whenever anybody that's currently elected, when their time is up, changing that. When we talk about things that'll move the needle, that's gonna be, if all 12 were on there, that's gonna be $250,000 a year. So it's something to consider.
Yeah.
And
Coroner surveyor and.
council commissioner. I know that I think Northeast DuBois, probably a decade ago, they took away from their school board.
I would argue, especially if you go with the spousal thing, I would definitely argue to go there, because then you're gonna have the same argument that people in the elected positions got insurance offered to them that their employers likely, so we're kind of saying the same thing for the spouses. So, if we decide to ever go down that route, I would probably say, yeah, we'll probably need to look at it, but basically what's fair is fair.
So you mean on their current term or while
The
they're
current
in office?
term, that's what I mean, we can do it however we want to. I'm just saying, I don't think it'd be fair for you, for example, you have one more year for us to say, starting January 1st of next year, you're not gonna have your benefit that you expected to get. Now, you wouldn't count, but let's say commissioner, she's gonna be done at the end of next year, and if, we wouldn't wanna take that away. If it, if it was expected, it's part of the, basically the contract for employment.
Yep.
Even though.
Going in, that's what you're.
Yeah, you have a certain expectation.
Yep, right.
So, anybody have any thoughts on it?
When I first ran, I was self-employed. If you gave me a choice between pay and insurance, I would take the insurance. So I don't really think it's that much different than if we propose just let's do away with the pay for all the elected officials. I mean, it's a benefit, just like the pay is a benefit. So, I mean, it's part of wanting to do the job, it's part of the benefit part of it.
So you see it as an incentive that we should keep?
I think we'll get good people as long as we offer those incentives, but I think if we start pulling the incentives, maybe the caliber of people running for our office might change.
Commissioner Stefano?
And you're paying for the insurance, I think it's an incentive.
I mean, we pay the same as what our employees do. It's not like we get a better
Special rate,
benefit
right.
than everybody else.
Right, but we pay it as well.
But self-employed, it might be, something that encourages them to run for an office, because that helps them, and then in return, they're helping the community. But if you remove it, self-employed aren't gonna.
I guess I would favor it in 3 years. So not next year, not next, so 29, I guess. That would be 26. Or 28, I guess, whenever that term, next term, I don't know what our terms are, but.
Yeah.
So we'd have all of 26, we'd have all of 27, all of 28. So it'd be January 1st of 2029, that's how I would propose it. But it looks like there's no support for that currently. Correct?
No.
Okay. All right, that's it, I told you that's the last part on that.
All right.
Thanks.
All right.
Do we have anything with the budget we need to talk about? Do we?
You're on the 13th, next Wednesday, you guys are at 1 o'clock, so. On the agenda, if you're coming in to review with council.
So
Okay.
the only other thing we had down as a discussion, do we have any follow-up on the DuBois County Park or 4-H Council? Anybody have anything up with that?
I haven't heard anything different.
Suggestions? Comments? No? Marky and I probably need to have a discussion and maybe put a key person as a contact for Carson at this point.
I think most of it should happen within the 4-H council. I don't think we need to really be involved.
One suggestion that I sent to, I don't know if it's appropriate to bring up or not, doesn't matter necessarily, I brought it to the council and to the auditor, that would it make more, one part of this, that's somewhat related, would it make more sense that we didn't give the full amount of money to 4-H and then just whatever amount they usually pay back to the county for Carson or the director or the employees.
Just keep it,
Just
pay
keep
the
it.
employee.
Right, so, because I don't know what her opinion on it is, but I assume it's, why go through the steps of giving them, let's say their portion's 40,000, why give them 40,000 in their budget, just to have them write us a check back for 40,000, and then let's have to mess with that. So I looked
Sure,
at
there's
the,
a reason we did it that way.
Well,
To use that.
I think,
and again, I don't
we
want to
give
take
them
anything
money,
away
I
from
don't know
them.
what else they do with that money.
I mean, they use it throughout the year
And then we
for different things.
settle up after their fiscal year's over.
I don't know if that would be the
I don't
ideal thing.
know, I mean, when we give them the 140,000, I don't know what all they do with that.
Right. Use it throughout.
Right, and then when we do the reimbursement, I don't know,
I think I would keep it the same. I would do the allotment that you give the 4-H because they use that throughout. Yeah, I don't
right, so if we didn't give them any money, or we gave them half the money, because they usually reimburse us about half of it.
Right.
And
Like what, like $70,000?
I don't know the
But I
exact amount
It's,
either.
it's somewhere in there. I just don't know.
But again, why would we want to go through the hassle of having to negotiate what their half is?
Well, we don't
What they're at.
negotiate it, they tell me it's time, and I tell them what our expenses were, and then they write me a check for half.
And there's never been anything.
Their half, our half, and then whatever difference.
That's never been a problem?
Because they're doing what they pay out there. They list all the things they pay for, we list what we pay for, and then that's when we settle up.
And that reconciliation's not been a problem? Okay. I
It's
thought
not
that there was
really
a
an
couple
issue.
of years ago that there was an issue where they didn't have the money
Well,
or
they
they.
keep telling us they don't have any money to hire more or give raises and all that, but that's cost of doing business, you don't have a choice.
I'd say if she's fine with how it goes, it's fine. with me.
Okay.
It just seems like a waste of space, waste of
Right.
step.
We do the same thing with solid waste district, we settle up within twice a year too.
Yeah, I don't know if I would change.
Now, now 4-H, we settle once a year, where solid waste, we settle twice a year.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay.
And Sandy, you said next week, 1 o'clock,
It's on the
Wednesday,
13th, the council's meeting for budget reviews,
1 o'clock.
We did.
at 1 o'clock is the commissioner's time
Okay,
slot.
I've got it. Thank you. I wanted to confirm that one more time. Okay.
So I think I think some of the things with 4-H, we would like 4-H to have a single point of contact that talks with our director, our county employee. They'll work half his time on average for the park, half the time for the 4-H. That changes throughout the year as needs are, but on average, that's what it is. And any decisions that are made by 4-H needs to go through the whole board, right? Not just,
All right.
you hate to have any one
Correct.
person or two people.
Or
nail it on
maybe
it.
even
Misinformed or
one
not
committee,
informed.
Right.
Right.
That, when they go before the board, they think he's doing a bad job, the board discusses it, and they can take action, they're appointed. So that's that. Okay, I think,
So we are at this point fair to say that we're not going to separate them at all.
that would be, I wouldn't want to,
At this point, I agree.
no. Okay.
I agree.
Okay, Mr. Meyer, you've been here for a long time. Would you like to address the board?
Yes, I got a
Good
question
morning.
off the record. It was always my understanding that as
You're
commissioners, you
right.
guys got insurance, and if you ran 2 terms, you got it for life.
No. You get it while you're an active.
That doesn't happen at the local level.
No, I was,
That may be a state or federal, but that is not local.
I always thought you got it
Well,
for
that'd
life
be
after you served 2
benefit.
terms.
No, I bet people would like that, but no, that's not the case. When your term is ended, then you're done.
Now, you can carry it and pay the COBRA rates if you've had enough years in.
Yeah.
I always thought that was the
Retiree.
incentive of being a commissioner, was you got the insurance.
No,
And if you did 2 terms, you got it forever. Well,
No.
All right, let's put that, let's put that into
Good
record.
idea.
It's been suggested.
Nope.
I'll take it. No,
No, that's not.
That's
That'll
not
come from
the
the
case.
county real quick.
We pay for the insurance just as well.
First of all, I'm gonna start out by saying, I worked with Donnie for years. Think a lot of Donnie. This is nothing personal against Donnie. I think he might be a little slow for taking the job. I wouldn't want the job, but, what I got going on here is I've got some nasty letters. I actually got 2 issues. I've got phone calls and I've got threats. And this is about mowing the county roads because they're not getting mowed, so I've been mowing them myself. I don't know what's going on. I know a few years ago, there was some junk equipment. I mean, every time I went to Huntingburg, I seen one of the county mowers was over in Huntingburg getting worked on. Guys, 5, 6, 7 years ago in Boone Township, I'm not picking on the guy who mows now, but there was a guy by the name of Charlie. I think he's retired. Is he retired?
Yes.
He mowed from the county road to the crop twice by the 4th of July, which is basically 3 passes. Okay? We've got one strip, not 3 passes, one strip mowed, and guys, we're in August. I can take you to the end of 675 North and show you there is a mulberry tree that is that high along property. I've worked with the county for years. They've worked with me. I think Donnie can testify that when the snow flies, I let them plug the road graders in at my place. They even let them pull in the shed, with the ice thing froze up and they got to spend a couple extra hours. They park equipment there. They've helped me get ditches dug out, I weed dug out. But this mowing the roads is not getting done. And every year I try to mow what I rent, do I not? Maybe once. But I mean, it's ridiculous this year. And I can show you stuff on Facebook where people call me out. People have showed up at my house. People have cussed me out. One person told my son that I'm a piece of shit because I got grass all over the road and somebody's going to have a motorcycle wreck. I don't know what's going on there. But my main reason I'm here is back in 1979 or 1980, 675 North had a curve in it. And the county, along with my grandfather, paid Hassenauer and Sternbergs to come out and straighten that road. And when they did that, they straightened it out. There was an existing road went through our field. Well, in that field, there are 4 or 5 tile and a sewer from the previous road and for our field drainage. My grandfather, my dad, and my great-grandfather had laid a drop box up. And this is about 15 feet off of, 10 to 15 feet off of county right-of-way on 675 North. This spring, I told the county on the opposite side of the road, the sewer was falling off and the road was given away. They came in, they replaced it. The drop box was laid up with concrete block and had a top on it, and we farmed across it on our side of the road. There was no hole, no ditch, no nothing. They replaced the sewer. I talked to the guy who took it out, who's not here, and I talked to Donnie. Now they want to put a little riprap around it and leave a big hole. When I say a hole, I'm saying it's probably about that big and that deep on our side of the property. Now, it's off of county right of way.
So it's on private property?
Yes.
Not on the right of way, but we were involved in it?
Yes.
Is that accurate?
We had to get off the right of way. It's a 50-foot right of way. We had to get off of it because our pipe was leading up into his box. The box that was laid up by his grandpa with concrete blocks, and it was not mortared together. They had 2x4s down through there to hold them up years ago. So needless to say, over the years, I have no idea how many years, 30, 40 years, they start falling in.
They were still solid. They did not fall in. I had a top that my mother got ran over a few years ago. And I will let my kids drive tractors, semis, do whatever, but I won't let them mow the yard. I put a concrete top that was like 6 foot by 8 foot across the top of it. I actually planted corn across it. They took 2 or 3 rows of corn. I'm not worried about the corn, okay? But I put that over there so nobody could fall in there. So if somebody runs off the road, nobody can sue me. So if somebody was mowing the yard, one of my children or somebody, nobody would fall in. It was completely sealed off. It was perfect. So the county doesn't want to fix it. So I've talked to an attorney from Berry County. We got a few options we can do. We can sue the county, or we can file a report of theft, because the block and the top are missing. I want my drop box fixed. I don't want to make a public spectacle out of it, but if we have to go to court, we'll have to go to court. I don't come to somebody's house and take their sidewalk out or take their front door off, or if you've got a 2-inch water line going in your house, I don't cut it down to a 1/2-inch water line. If I take your landscaping out, I don't just fling a little weed seed or grass in there. I don't want riprap. I want it, if you want to put it back with concrete block, that's fine. If you want to pour concrete, that's fine. We have a bridge crew. It's pretty simple. But I'm not spending the money. I mean, I don't know who was on the board several years ago. I know my name doesn't mean nothing in this county, but we just talked about some stuff, and Ms. Stefano was real nice and said they are doing a great reclamation project out there on the coal mine. But why did the county commissioners let them ruin the road so the Jackal family could have several $100,000, which has cost the county how much? And in the next 20 years, I guarantee you that Porterville Road is going to slide. And it's going to cost a crap ton in. And I can guarantee you the Jackals ain't going to give no ground to move it. All I want is I want to be treated fair. Nobody on this board, nobody in this county would want somebody to come do something on their property and have to deal with it. That's where I'm at on it.
I'm just trying to read through a note here on the case. So I just want to understand better. So
I mean, I talked to my attorney from Berry County. He told me, he said, you know, you would have a 50-50 chance in court if it was on right away, but it's off right away. I mean, he's practicing this county for 40 years, and he's retired now. Matter of fact, I go all the way to Derby to his farm to farm it, just so he has something to do. He told me he's tired of arguing with Judge Judy, so he said he'd be more than glad to take the case.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we had to get that existing pipe out.
I know we had to get it out. I know we had to get it replaced.
And that pipe was in his box cover. So, and why we have replaced that pipe was because some of the blocks that was on the corners fell in. And
that's not why I had to replace the pipe. The pipe was actually collapsed on the other side.
Yes, yeah. So all the water, hard rains that we got nowadays with those blocks there, the water could not all get away. It ran over the other side of the road and broke that pipe down. It washed out and it broke the pipe down. So we had to replace it. We had no choice. We had to replace it. So we went in and replaced it from a 30-inch to a 36-inch. Same length, which we could have cut some of that off, but you said you wanted it a little longer for the fact that Sanders could come in and put a box around it. So I went out and measured it here a few weeks ago, and it is exactly 1 foot over the right of way. But we could have cut 1 or 2 foot off of that, but we left it on there because of the fact that Sanders were gonna come in.
Please don't try to make an ass out of me, or I will take this even further. I have pictures. The sewer broke because there was a seam on the other side of the road where it was put together that come apart and it went down and there was sand under it. I have pictures, and if I need to, I can get them.
Yet the reason, according to the operator,
There was nothing went across the road as far as water. It never overflowed across the road. There was 2 pipes put together. One was 75% of it, and the other was 25%. where the 25% joint was, it came apart and went, and then when that split, then it's underground, undermined, and that's.
Here's what I can tell you from my perspective, because I don't know all about it, and I would know a lot more if I've taken a look at it. What I'll do over the next 2 weeks before our next commissioners meeting is I'll go out there with one or two of these guys and we'll look at it, and then I can give you an answer. Right now, I'd just be pulling it out of the air. So if I feel like we've been in the wrong or whatever, then I'll make sure that
I understand.
that we make that right.
I just want to put back the way it was.
And if I don't, then I'll tell you that too, and I won't tell you what you should or shouldn't do with your lawyer friend or not. So that's a separate issue for me. But yeah, I can promise that I'll go look at it with these gentlemen, and I can report back to the board, or they're welcome to come out and look at it too in the next couple of weeks. I don't want to blow smoke. I just want to tell you.
I mean, would anybody want their property destroyed?
No one will want their property destroyed, that's for sure.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mark.
Is there any other, anything from the attorney today?
No, sir.
Anything from the county auditor?
No.
Anything from Commissioner Stefano?
No, sir.
Commissioner Hoffstetter? No. And are we going to go take care of this retirement?
I do have a question. The AIC conference is on September 29th to October 2nd. I am signing up the council members to go. I didn't know if any of you all wanted me to sign you up, or if you just wanted, it's in French Lick, so we'll be traveling back and forth until registration hotel.
I'm not going to be attending.
I probably not either.
I think 3 of us have been asked to serve on the host committee, so
What's the date?
I think September 29th to October 2nd.
I could come up in the evenings, but I don't see much point in coming up in the evenings. So I think I would pass.
Okay, I just,
Yeah, I'm
registering them if you wanted to, I was gonna register you as well.
Probably not.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay. All right, then we'll close the meeting. Mr. Stefano, do you have time to go to extension?
Yes.
Yeah, shouldn't take